Yeah. If you don't know who George is, you've probably been under a rock the last 25 years.
Hey, before we get started,
don't have the Discovery Channel.
There you go.
Hey, George. So how many years has it been since you've been out?
Left in April 22nd, 2011. So where are we at? Sometimes I don't even know what year it is.
15 years.
Yeah, 15
years. And, it's like you guys being former SEALs and, like,
Yeah.
the adjustment of not doing anything.
Yeah.
It was like, man, I wanted the juice,
It's hard to let off the gas.
And sitting around, it was, I had to adapt. I think I did fairly well. But, there's a lot of horror stories out there from, guys from the outlaw bike world, military, police.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. All right, we officially starting now? We clapping?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I jumped in.
Good. No, it's good. It's
All
kind of, I was briefing George. It's kind of how we roll. It's kind of a shit show around here.
It's fucking mess.
Hey.
All right, so for you guys tuning in today, we have a very special episode for you guys. So we have George Christie, was leadership from the Hells Angels from 77 till 2011. Went through a major war with the Mongols. Like, there's so many stories. We get into that. But because Kevin and I don't have much of a riding background, and Nick is out of town gallivanting in Europe right now, we brought on Billy Helmers, who is the current president of the Frogman Motorcycle Club, to kind of translate some of these the rider lingo that Kevin and I aren't
Former
familiar with.
retired team guy. And what episode were you on our show? Like 3?
It was one of our first guests, too.
One of the first ones.
Yeah. So welcome back.
Welcome, both of you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here. Now, for your club, you have to be a former Frogman?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we got started in like 2017, real small, and we're still pretty small. We're fucking you got to be a SEAL. Yeah. So a lot of of course conversations of like, could we bring in Swick, which is our boat guys?
Right.
Should we bring? Now we just want. There's very few things anymore, George. that
Maybe
are
Frog
just
Women Club.
that are just team guy owned, right? So I mean, it's just like people get involved with all of our organizations, and this is just one. We're like, fuck it, we're just gonna go Frogman all the way, so we know each other.
Swick guys are super dope. I was just kidding.
They are, man.
Yeah.
No, I hate fucking.
I just like making dick jokes. So
You like to hate mail.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we like to have fun with it. So
I get some great hate mail.
sometimes it's
I
entertaining.
can't even imagine.
It's like, I'm trying to create this historical record, which I think is important of, the outlaw bike culture. I don't want some guy 100 years from now writing about what it's about. And, he has no idea whatsoever, but he's an expert now. Somebody blessed him. You're an expert.
He's going to Hunter Thompson it. Yeah.
Yeah. And, this is the deal. I want a chronological order of the history, and I'm not putting anybody in jail. And most of the rats have told the cops all this stuff. So, I mean, I just want it on the record by somebody that was there. And the guys that were there with me, they can call bullshit, or they can go, yeah, that's the way it was.
Yeah, and I'm so stoked to have you on. I was actually reaching out to the, I told you on the break here, or before we started, I was reaching out to the Outlaw Archive on Instagram. Freaking love that account. They do some great stuff.
Yeah, he does.
And I think
he's always fucking with somebody.
They're always into some shit. And I was thinking it might be really cool because I listened to a few of your podcasts before this, the one with Patrick Bet-David and then one of yours as well. Speak of the Devil is the name of your podcast. And then there's another one I forgot, and then the one No Jumper one. And there's so much information out there about your story and your heritage. And our show, we wanted to do something a little bit different. Like our show, the term liberty risk, I mean, you're a Marine, so, you know what I mean? For the audience,
kind of like I used to feel about my guys when they went to town on Friday night. I'd stay at the clubhouse and they'd go uptown and I'd wait for the phone call.
Yeah, it's just a collection of wild and crazy stories from people who lived wild and crazy lives. So I think what might be fun is instead of kind of rehashing the same stories that anybody can get on any of these podcasts, which are great podcasts, I highly recommend. But we might it might be fun to start off with a story, because I was going through your episode. I think it was episode 2 on your podcast, Speak of the Devil, and you were telling a story about how there was this wild fucking party that you had right before you were patching in. About they were shooting. It got to like they were shooting bottle rockets at the police helicopters overhead.
LAPD.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Satan slaves had decided to move, and Satan slaves kind of ran San Fernando Valley. And there's a lot of people. I actually wrote that in a one of my posts, and so I got a million things. No, they didn't run it. These guys ran it. And I'm talking about in the outlaw bike culture. The Satan slaves ran San Fernando Valley, and the cops didn't even really fuck with them. The first time we got fucked with was at that party. The cops showed up there, and I talked to Keith Bandit Ball. He's editor of Easy Rider. He actually owns it now, and we went there together that night. We were both independent writers at the time. Later, we would both become Los Angeles Hells Angels. But I remember coming there and the cops already having the place surrounded. He thinks we came there, and then the cops showed up shortly afterwards. So the Satan slaves are getting out of this little clubhouse. It's just I don't know what they call them when there's no insulation. It's just clapboard, I guess they call them. Just a framed house with these boards packed up around it. And people kept coming, and then the police showed up, and then the helicopters started circling us. And one of the slaves got out a bunch of bottle rockets, and we were using Coke bottles as launchers. We were lighting the bottle rockets, and I write about it in my latest book. But also that night, we had a little trick we used to do. I used to get liquid LSD from the Grateful Dead, and we would dose people. It was kind of a dangerous thing to do, but hey,
gotcha, bitch.
Danger's our middle name.
Surprise, good time.
So people started getting real cautious about it. So we come up with the idea to put it in water, freeze it into ice cubes, and put it in and then when they dip their hand in to get the drink, and they pop the top, and they're drinking, this moisture is getting in their lips, and when the helicopter first showed up, the music was so loud you couldn't hear it, but it just was like daylight. You guys have been in that situation with these helicopters. They just light it up, man. It's like daylight. And first I thought I was loaded, and then I realized they were circling us. And one of the slaves passed out the bottle rockets. We shot the bottle rockets. They banked off, and then the LAPD gang squad just, the riot squad guys with all their riot gear on just started coming in. I jumped on my bike, took off, and got out of Dodge.
That is crazy.
There's some wild times, man. I thought, what happened to the house? In your story, you were telling
the house, shit, yeah. The house was gone when we left. Keith was 6'4". He was a real big guy, and all the slaves were huge. And 3 or 4 slaves gone on, and they called Keith over, and they pushed one side in, and then the whole thing just buckled.
Wow.
Nice.
The 4 walls. Now, this was on Topanga Canyon Boulevard. That's a main road, and kind of in a classy area. And I don't know how the slaves got the place, but they were there, and I think this guy sold to developers, and the slaves got kicked out. But,
that's
probably made
crazy.
some money on the demolition too.
Now, what we did was we went. Now I'm going to tell some stories. You're probably going to get some hate mail for this shit. But,
hey, George, before you get started, I just want you to tell you, from me to you, you're the reason we can't get shit these days. Like, hey, we're coming in with a motorcycle club, man. You guys cool with that? And all of a sudden, it's like insurance. We need more.
Exactly.
So thank you.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure. If you want the rates raised, let me know.
I'm good.
There you go.
I'm good.
So
That's so funny.
we pulled out of there, and we had a restaurant we all used to go to when the bar closed. That's where we all meet up in this with the slaves. We go to the restaurant, and then we have this beef with this one cop, and he always would chase us down. And he shows up at the restaurant. He's like a shark going back and forth. So what do the guys do? This is the first time this happened for me. They drew straws, and one of the guys got up and he went over to the payphone. He called in a shots fired, officer needs assistance. And the cop knew what we did, and he gave us the finger and took off.
You had to get him out of there?
Yeah, we wanted to get out of there. I went out there, jumped on my bike. It was like every man for himself. I jumped on my bike. I went out to 118 to get back to Ventura. And I had been everything in my power to get back home in time. I worked for the Department of Defense at the time, and I had been on San Nicolas Island. I initially went to Santa Cruz Island. There was a submarine surveillance system out there. At the time, it was top secret, and I had a high clearance, a security clearance, and I used to maintain it. And from there, they sent me to San Nicolas Island. They flew me out there. We had an open wire. It was a long-range missile test center, and then, of course, the submarine surveillance system. It was I don't know what year it was, 75, 74, and the Cold War was really on with the Russians.
Yeah.
And we had that submarine surveillance system out there in case the Russians tried to sneak their subs in. And it was a line direct from Santa Cruz Island, from the RCA submarine surveillance system, straight to Washington, where they could give the red light to push the button.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Important stuff.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Have you hold hands here,
thanks,
Billy?
man.
All right.
You got nice hands.
Any bigger cups?
Am my story scaring you guys? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, hold his hand.
So,
Hold
did
me.
you say this is in 74, 75?
Yeah.
So back then, man, with the clearance and being in the club,
They didn't know.
they didn't
They
know.
didn't put it together.
Of course they didn't, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the guys mentioned, we used to talk about it from time to time. About I was building a bike and I was doing this, and the GS guys in there, the civil servants, thought I was joking. They thought, leader of the Hells Angels, and then they found out I was, and they called me in the office, and he goes, I got to ask you something. He goes, are you a leader in the Los Angeles Hells Angels? And I kind of thought for a minute. I go, yeah. He goes, hey, man, you can't do that. He goes, we're going to pull your security clearance. He goes, you can't go into all these places. The people you're hanging out with. I said, I've been here 8 years. There's never been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, you got to make a choice. And I said, okay, I'll see you. And I left.
yeah,
Yeah.
take your badge off.
Yeah.
Well, I think, too, to kind of put things chronologically, like you got out of the Marines and then
got
you
out of the
stayed
Marines.
working for DOD, right?
8 years, yeah. I
So-
went from the Marines to the DOD.
So when did you punch out of the Marines?
Right around the 69 or 70.
Oh, okay.
I was in a reserve unit, and I got in an argument with a gunnery sergeant, and I was getting court-martialed, and they activated me, sent me down to Camp Pendleton, and then they did an evaluation, and I had threatened the gunnery sergeant. Is what had happened.
Nice.
And unbeknownst to me, apparently there was a lot of shit going on in the country in Vietnam that they were fragging people and stuff over there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like- You're like
Fratricide.
shooting your own officers and shit in the back and
and I had
Shooting bottle rockets at them.
yeah, right.
shit like that. So I kind of had the choice of a discharge or
Yeah.
I went to work for the DOD. Navy
Yeah.
intelligence guys showed up at my house. And
Yeah.
I just-
No, I asked that because obviously in our club, we're not running diamond or nothing, but just the 3 pieces enough for people to
Well-
question it. And it's like, look, we're not out fucking doing this. We're not doing that. Just because we got active duty guys.
You know,
as well.
I'll tell you, I'd be more than happy to write a letter of recommendation for you.
Yeah, would you? I appreciate you. Thanks, George.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you punched out of the Marines, you at what point did you kind of see the HA as like, oh, you know, this is something that I want to get into? Or
I'll tell you, I was getting in trouble in Anaheim, California. the guys I was running with were fucking around. They were the whole crew I ran with was like 4 or 5 guys. I can't remember.
Is this after the Marine Corps? Or
no, this is I'm in junior high school.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And they were joyriding cars. They'd go to a shopping center and get in a car and just drive it all crazy, then park it and run away. And I was out in the front yard with my mom, and those jokers came by my house in they'd stolen a car. My mom knew. She looked at me and she looked at them, and then she told me, she goes, "You will not be a criminal." And I said, "Okay, Mom." So my mom and my dad decided that they should move to Camarillo, California. It was billed, I was in Anaheim. It was billed as one of the safest cities in the United States at that particular time. And lo and behold, the Question Marks motorcycle club was in Camarillo, California, just on the outskirts of town. And I gravitated immediately towards them. You know, I was, a couple of weeks ago, I had a book signing event, and you guys may have heard this name. You might recognize Beautiful Buzzard. He was a Hell's Angel from the 50s and the 60s and then into the 70s. Well, Buzzard and I were together, and I tell this story, and I've written about it, probably 1958, I'm estimating. I'm standing on the street corner in San Fernando Valley with my father, and up the street you hear this noise, and some guy's coming on a chopped Harley, and I never seen nothing like it in my whole life, man. You know, I don't know, 8, 9, maybe 10, but I doubt it. And he pulls up to the stop sign, and you know, he's got a cutoff on. I don't know what it said on the back of his jacket. He had the ape hangers. The ball bearing basket in the clutch was rattling. You know, later I figured out what that noise was. At that time, I didn't know. I just hear this distinct ringing noise, and I'm just watching this guy. He pushes his glasses up on his head, and he's looking all cool, and everybody's freaking out. And the light changes. He takes off, and metaphorically, man, I jumped on the back of that bike. I thought, man, that's for me. The guy standing there talking to my dad flipped out, and he looked at that guy, and he looked at me, and he pointed. He goes, "You see him? He's a fucking animal." Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, yeah, pretty cool.
Fucking badass animal.
and then he spit on the ground, and he goes, "That's your America." And I thought to myself, yeah, that's all my right. America, man. And, you know, from that point on now, what's interesting, what I'm heading to, when Buzzard and I were together, I told that story at that book event. I did like a little intro into the book and stuff. And Buzzard said, you know, in 1958, he was a Hell's Angel, and he lived in San Fernando Valley. And I said, wouldn't it be ironic? I go, maybe that was you, man. This is all your fault.
Yeah. That's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what, man? Whenever I'm riding my bike and, you know, you fucking pull up to a light and something, little kids can't help, man.
No.
I mean, they're just like fucking watching you like
It's
Batman.
cool, dude.
It's the coolest shit, man. And these kids, I fucking love it, man. Little kids are
it's
just
nothing
like
like it, man.
They're just like, whoa.
So we're in, we just come up into Wyoming. We came up Highway 25. It's the first town, it might be Jackson. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the town. But it's first town, it's a cowboy town. We pull out of there in the morning. We're going to Sturgis. It's probably 1976, 77, 78, I don't know. Maybe early 80s. And like the cops are really sweating us. So we pull off. We had already got one roadblock coming into Grand Junction, Colorado. They had blocked the whole road, planes and, you know, air coverage and whatnot. So I told Jeff from Purdue, the Purdue president, I said, hey, man, let's get off the main drag here on 25. I think it was 89 or 85. I can't remember. And let's take the back roads. And we'll go through all the towns, all the little towns. And it starts off, the first town we get to, there's a couple of people on the sidewalk watching us. Then we get to the next town, and there's like 15 people.
It's like
watching
growing.
us. Then we get to the next town, and there's like 30 people watching us. And at the red lights, man, the kids are riding their bicycles.
Yeah.
Up and down the pack. They're looking like choppers.
Little ape hangers on them.
Yeah, and these kids are, that seed was planted.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You know it was. I know.
My brother had a fucking Harley and never rode in a club or anything, but that was it for me.
Yeah.
And then riding around with him, and people would come through my town, and we've all had those experiences.
Yeah. Things are real tough right now. You talk about not riding with the club, and hopefully it wouldn't affect a club like yours, but like in Australia, you can't wear a patch down there and ride. It's a $12,000 fine if you get caught riding by yourself. I think if you get caught riding in a pack, I believe the fine could go up to $60,000. Now I don't know if that's for the whole pack or if that's an individual. In Canada, they just recently outlawed wearing a patch in one of the major cities up there. Denmark, no patches for the Hells Angels and Banditos. Germany, the same thing. I mean,
damn.
It's weird. I mean, you kind of expect Canada to be gay, but Australia's surprising. Like, for a nation founded by convicts, you'd think they'd be a little less bootlicky,
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
And that's kind of been my position on it.
It's surprising.
Yeah, that's some pretty weird shit. I mean, obviously.
Have you guys discussed that? Have you guys thought about that as a club?
Which part?
Not being as bootlicky.
No, man, we just do our own fucking thing.
Right.
I
mean, as veterans, how could they come to you guys and go, you can't do this anymore?
Hey, we were, I don't know, man. They can't. When we've had interactions with the cops, it's always panned out so far really well.
And I
really
fucking
well.
Smart. This is one of the things Sonny Barger and I used to argue all the time. Like, if we were going to go to a town, I'd call ahead of time and say, we're coming. There's going to be 500 of us, and this is what we're doing. This is where we're going to be.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so you'll see us. We're coming. I think that's a smart move.
It's not like they won't notice you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to sneak in.
Well, we do. We squeak through all the fucking time.
Well, how many guys do you guys ride with? Like, you guys are 6 to 8
where?
usually? When you guys are rolling in someplace?
Well, it depends on where we're at, man. I mean, if it's a national run.
San Diego is probably a shit ton. I mean,
now, San Diego was the hardest county, perhaps, in the United States to come into. Mm-hmm. I mean, and the boys down here, the Hells Angels, Dago, man, they were a wild crew.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things when we came about. We had, forming a fucking club. I don't have to tell you about the difficulty in it and the perception that a lot of our community had about it and all this shit.
It creates conflicts within families even.
Yeah. And then, when we got past...
Wives.
Yeah, oh, fuck, man. In the teams, we had the wives club, and everyone avoided that. Anyone worth their fucking salt would keep their old lady
away from the wives club.
Like, just stay the fuck away.
Pig squadron.
And then as soon as they get involved, shit start. It's the
rumors,
the whole fucking thing. We deployed for 6 months, man, and one old lady's calling another old lady, telling her, "Oh, my husband just called," and then the other old lady's like, "Well, why the fuck isn't mine calling?
How come my husband's not calling?"
And they go in there, they go into the clubhouse, and then they do intel. Like, I'd be in there. The women are in there doing intel. They're at the phone chalkboard by the phone, looking at the messages. And this, if they would have had phones back then, they would have been taking pictures of the messages and passing them to the other old ladies.
Yeah. But, we keep them. Most of our old ladies are pretty fucking cool. You get a couple of guys that are like, she's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere without her, and it's like, oh, fuck, man. Well, not this time. You're not going. Next time, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one good thing too about the Frogman is, I mean, I would say most of, but a lot of the dudes like you and Gut and some other guys. I mean, you've made it through a multi-decade amount of time in the team. So the wives have kind of been vetted in that respect. To now you're in this new endeavor they kind of know. They're like, well, it's not like being in teams, but it's similar to being in teams. So in terms of,
I would
women.
think that they would actually embrace it, thinking, well, at least I know my man's coming back in all likelihood tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you got to do something. You're not going to join a fucking chess club and you get out. You know what I mean?
What's wrong with chess?
I love chess.
But that's the only thing you do.
No, I know. Yeah. No, it's it's just that fine balance. You are right, though. I mean, in our community, if the chick has been with the dude a long time, she knows the deal.
Yeah.
It's
keep your mouth shut.
Most of our guys are 2 or 3 divorces deep, so they normally get after they paid their dues, they've done all the shit stuff, now they're established. Now they meet an old lady.
And
now the old ladies now they come in and they're like, "Oh, this is fucking great."
Yeah.
You get trained after
Do
a
you
while.
guys get I know you still have active duty guys. Do they get flack from active in the teams? From head shed going, hey, why the fuck you riding with those guys type shit? Or
a few people have been questioned about it, but I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean,
there's not been any action.
Yeah.
We have guys at fucking Warcom that have been wearing the patch to work, and people see them, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yet.
So George, when you were you had that moment when you were a kid. And then how did that gravitate towards, did you get a bicycle and then did you put the cards in the spoke on it? And then how was that progression?
No, man, I always rode a bike. You start fucking around putting the playing cards in the spokes. So it sounds like, you're getting a little pipe action when you're riding. And, the guys I ran with, man, we played kind of hard, I remember we got in an argument with one of the guys. We had a little bicycle gang, and one of the guys had. You may not know do you know who Wallace Beery is? Wallace Beery's a kind of famous character actor from the 1920s, and he has a scene in a movie where he takes a log and throws it, and it sticks in the wheels of a covered wagon, and the wagon flips. And
I see where this is going.
Yeah, so I went over the bars.
Nice.
And I went and jacked him. I go, what are you doing, man? He goes, I saw it in a Wallace Beery movie. He goes, it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, the old broomstick in the spokes.
Yeah.
Cool for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I kept thinking about the bikes. Like I mentioned, I got off track, but my parents moved up to Camaraderie, and lo and behold, the question marks are in town there. They're a 1%er club hanging out with Hells Angels, friends of the Hells Angels. The question marks actually had 3 people come out of them that went into the Hells Angels. Paul Animal Hibbets. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Gimme Shelter. Mm-hmm. He's the one with the fox hat head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Him and I went to elementary school, high school, hung out with the question marks. We have a long, he's passed now, but he actually put that fox head on his head when they went to Altamont because he heard that the Maisley brothers would be there filming, and he didn't want anybody to recognize him. And that hat brought so much attention to him. Everybody was, who's the guy in the fox head hat? You know?
Wow.
But
I don't want anybody to recognize me, so I'm going to wear this this
ostentatious off-the-wall hat with the animal's head on top. And, he's the guy that knocked out Marty Ballin from the Jefferson Airplane. We were friends with the airplane. And the fans started pushing the bikes over, and you know how that would go over.
Not well.
So Animal jumped off the stage and was trying to back the people up. One of the guys in the audience said something. Animal knocked him out. Marty Ballin comes out because you can't do that to our fans, and he goes, "Hey, Marty, they pushed our shit around, so I'm knocking anybody out that touches my bike." And so Marty Ballin says, "Hey, you know what, man? Fuck you." And Animal goes, "Don't talk to me like that." And he gave him 3 chances to correct his behavior. And on the 3rd, fuck you, Animal knocked him out. And Grace Slick starts complaining, and if you remember the movie,
yeah.
Well, the Hells Angels just knocked. That was Animal that knocked out.
Is this during the show, the live show?
The live show. You got to see
shit.
it, man. Give me shelter. And then Sweet William grabs a microphone from. Remember Sweet William was there? Sweet William grabs a microphone from. I don't know. Maybe Janet. I mean, maybe Grace, but. He starts talking shit. He says, "You guys fuck with our shit, we're gonna fuck you up. Stay away from us." And then it just went on. And then later that night, Meredith Hunter had a issue with Mick Jagger, and he pulled a gun out and pointed at Jagger, and Alan Pizarro stabbed him in the neck and killed him.
Holy fuck!
Holy shit!
And, I started a beef between us and the Rolling Stones for like 10 years.
Yeah.
They said that if anybody picked a case up protecting them, because we were doing security there, they would pay for it. And the bill was $50,000, which is nothing to the Rolling Stones. And they didn't want to pay it. They didn't want to brush against defending someone that murdered somebody in the concert. And so Alan... We took it to trial. Alan got found not guilty, justifiable homicide. I mean, the guy, you can see it.
Yeah.
And it's all on film, man. He's pointing the gun at him, and then Alan just moves like a cat, stabs him a couple of times. And
That was all in the movie?
it's all in the movie. Give me shelter. You got to see
I
it.
got to check that out.
You gotta
I didn't
check
know
it
about
out.
that.
Yeah.
So
I saw it years ago, but it was pretty fucking badass.
is that correlated with that big Woodstock boondoggle where
Woodstock, they did the thing in the East Coast at Woodstock. So Jagger and the Stones wanted to do something when they ended their U.S. tour on the West Coast. So they went to Rock Scully, who was the manager of the Grateful Dead, and said, where do we do these things, free concert? And Rock Scully said, well, we do them in Griffith Park, or not Griffith Park, the park up there. I can't think of the name.
Yeah, in San Fran,
San
right?
Fran,
yeah.
And I can't think of the name of the park, but and he goes, and we usually get the Hells Angels to keep people away from the stage. And next thing you know, there's an issue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a mess, man.
What happened with the? Because I've heard about it happening at Woodstock, but I don't know the details of it. Did you know more about what happened with that whole fiasco with like the Hells Angels bouncing at Woodstock and then?
No, that was at Altamont.
Oh, that was Altamont.
I think you got your concerts.
Maybe I do.
Yeah, that was at Altamont, and it created a 10-year beef. For 10 years, we kept petitioning the Stones to pay the bill, and they wouldn't pay it. And there was a guy in the club in Cleveland. Cleveland guys are real serious guys, and Butch, for whatever reason, flipped. Went to a Senate hearing and told them that we had a murder contract on Jagger because he wouldn't pay the money.
Holy shit.
And they had actually, he was part of the team that we sent a raft over to blow up Jagger's yacht. And, you can actually look it up online, and you can see the testimony. They've got a screen around Butch, but I recognize his voice because I knew him. And,
should have called some Frogman for that, dude.
Well, where were you when we needed you?
Right.
So what happened was that sank with the explosives, and the guys swam back to shore.
Oh, no shit.
It was just
Wow.
I don't know who set that mission up, but it didn't go well.
Yeah, the water will mess with all your plans. Who was that team guy that sank Noriega's boat?
Chris Dye.
Yeah.
Chris Dye.
We tried to get him on the show. He's like, he told me, he's like,
Well, there was another guy too. Was it Beaujolais?
Yeah,
Randy.
No. Yes. Yeah.
Him and Chris were.
Yeah.
Well, there were like 4 pairs of dive pairs, but
I think two of them made it, right? Some guys got lost in the swamp or something like that.
yeah, I don't know. I think couple pairs because it was like a pretty hefty current.
Yeah, it was it was a straight dive, but that's not a dive you want to do.
Yeah,
because you can't see anything, so you're doing time distance calculations because you're underwater and you can't see anything except your little you got a little tack board.
stupid compass.
Yeah, it's like the size of a MacBook, and you're staring at this the whole time, and it's got a compass on it and a depth gauge, so you're trying to not get too high and
Right.
trying to steer this thing straight in 3D.
That's
environment.
your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so you're constantly watching and adjusting, but meanwhile the current's pushing 1 to 3 knots or whatever sideways, so you got to adjust or do your dive plan. So a lot of guys didn't make it, but then Chris Dye is one of the guys that made it and sank Noriega's boat. I tried to get him on the show. I was talking to him at a graduation. He's like, man, I don't know if I can come on. I'm still on some lists. I'm like, man, I don't think Noriega is still pissed about the boat, bro. I think he'd be all right. But yeah, water will fuck with all the plans, dude.
Well, after Butch testified before the Senate committee, the Stones sent us $50,000.
Oh, no shit.
They finally paid.
It's good incentive.
Then, the ironic thing is, and then the Hells Angels fought over who was going to get the money.
Of course.
That sounds per norm,
Oh, that's
They should have gave it to Butch.
Well, we had something else for Butch.
Oh, I'm sure.
We couldn't locate him.
Yeah. So I had a question about how the Hells Angels are structured, right? Because I understand that you guys are kind of unique where you don't, from my understanding, you have like a board, like a national board, and then you have the independent chapters.
Yeah, we're pretty autonomous. Each charter is. It's funny. I was on. You know who Michael Franchise is?
Yeah.
Michael and I have been friends a long time. I've been on the show a few times. We were in prison together in the 80s, and he had just, I think, robbed them, government, of $10 million in gas tax.
Yeah.
He came up with this scheme. And,
I heard about that.
Yeah, was it he was with one of the 5 families?
He was with the Colombo family.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, he was a captain.
Yeah.
But anyways, him and I got discussed it on the air. And, everything they do goes upward to the top guy, and he gets a piece of everybody's action. The Hells Angels are not about that. They are not a criminal organization, but they've become an organization full of criminals. It's kind of ironic that the government tried to sell that in 1979, 1980, and do you know who they RICO'd us 2 trials, and you know who the prosecutor was? It was Robert Mueller.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah, and the second time they just couldn't waste any more money. It cost them so much.
Just your chapter or the entire?
The entire club. Just
Oh,
the way
wow.
we were structured.
Right.
That particular case dealt mostly with the Bay Area guys, but from all the different charters. But each charter is autonomous, and it has really helped us when you get into a criminal courtroom.
That plausible deniability
Yeah.
to go, I don't know what fucking San Bernardino chapter's
Exactly.
doing.
Yeah. That
And,
makes
and like
sense.
the Mongols are structured, and it goes up. There's one voice that speaks. Same thing with the outlaws. Which it's a great way to get things done, but you become a target. For law enforcement.
Well, that leads to my next question is because you're also an entrepreneur, have a bunch of different businesses you've been involved with over the years. How does
Some of them legal too.
How does the organization fund itself? Is it like merch sales, or how do you guys do this?
Well, it's there's a real history here. I come around the club at the dues are $5 a week. California, then they start California dues, $20 a month. But ultimately, by the time you leave the club, you could wind up putting out $5,000-$6,000 a month for people that have got legal fees, legal problems. The dues are now $100 a week, probably minimum in most charters. So it makes this transition where monetarily some of the guys were hurting, man, because they were not hustlers. They were bike riders. They were, and we said this with affection, not with a derogatory, vision of it. They were scooter tramps. These guys, that's what it was all about, and that's the point I'm leading up to. It wasn't about a criminal organization. It wasn't about making money. It was about riding your motorcycles, being with people. And you guys will relate to this. It's being with people you identified with.
Yeah, like-minded individuals that are just riding.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was about brotherhood. Yeah. And, you're ready. And, some of the people may think die is exaggerating, but you're ready to die for each other. And, I think certainly, there's a big difference between going, to a motorcycle run and getting in a fight than, like you guys deploying and representing the country, but the camaraderie is there, the connection is there. That's really binds people together.
Yeah. I totally understand.
I've definitely been in platoons that have been very tight knit.
Some are probably tighter than others.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was kind of alluding to is the fact that because now culture in NSW in the SEAL community is. From what I understand, I don't have my finger on the pulse of, like, I retired almost 13 years ago, and I kind of made a clean break. I mean, I still talk to guys that are in the teams, but it's, the old days of having a keg at the command.
Done.
They don't still facilitate any drinking culture, and it's like, you can get go to Danny's or McPee's and get a burger, but it's not like it's not like it's. That culture isn't fostered by the command how it was before.
I think making you said something there that I really kind of relate to. I wound up leaving the club with the intent to still interact with everybody and whatnot. And then Sonny and I had that beef, and he put me out bad, not allowing anybody to talk to me. But I think perhaps making a clean cut may be psychologically better than kind of drifting,
keeping your toe dipped in.
I don't know. I know that I had a hard time adjusting. I felt betrayed, of course.
That's a lot of years to be involved in something.
40 years.
Yeah,
especially at that level.
Yeah. But I mean, I will say that was kind of the culture that I was brought up. When I first got to Team 5, and you were there, and it was a lot of, camaraderie was built by hanging out with dudes in your platoon, and inevitably you're going to drink and you're going to get in fight with random individuals, and that's how that camaraderie is built. And then you go down range, and you will die for your brother. You're like, dude, this guy is closer to me than some of my own brothers, my two brothers I have that are blood, but you've lived through this amount of stuff built on and based on being at bars or hanging out together and doing when you do it, we'll do a two-year workup or a year and a half workup and then deploy for 6 months. So you've been with these guys, and then sometimes you're doing 3, 4, 5 of these platoons together. So you've been with some of these guys for 10, 12.
The happiest guys in our club, man, are the ones that have gotten out, got away, and then they fucking have lost the camaraderie that we all took for granted for our entire careers. If it was 6 years, if it was 30 years, man.
Yeah.
And we all take that shit for granted in the SEAL team community. You just take it for granted. You're going to be there to cover my ass.
Young, you just grow up with
Even
it.
if I'm in a bar and I'm doing some really stupid shit, you're not going to let me get my ass kicked.
Exactly.
Too bad.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing in the MC world. I mean, I tell guys that when they ask me about it, they're like, "Hey, man, what's your fucking club like?" And I'm like, "Well, it's a lot like the teams used to be.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I mean, I was at Danny's. It's a bar down in Coronado, and there's a buddy with me. We went there, and this guy takes his shirt off. He's a young guy. He jumps up on the bar, and you've probably seen it in some movies where they have I'm a frogman driving a fucking 6x4. All this stuff goes.
I'm a lover. I'm a fighter.
I'm an all that shit.
UDT SEAL diver.
Well, new guys, they always jump on the bar and do that shit. So my buddy sees him do that. He's like, that's fucking cool. I've seen that in a movie before. And I'm like, it's a real thing.
That's why they put it in the
He's
movie.
like, well, I want to go buy him a beer. So we went down, bought him a beer, and I started bullshitting with this guy. And he was a young guy. He'd just gotten his Trident. And it was something going on in the news about trannies in the military or something. And I go, hey, man, what do you think about trannies in the military? And he goes, I think everyone has a right to their own view, and this is a fucking team guy. This is a fucking
and get off the bar.
And I go, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? That is the dumbest shit I have ever heard. And he goes, no shit, right? Bottom line, in our community, they
give you a party, the party line, and
everyone's affected, man.
That's
it's all
up.
affected by this woke ideology that everyone has an opinion and they're all valuable.
Yeah.
And,
well, look, somebody wrote something a couple of days ago, and I put that we used to pass out courtesy cards. And, like you run across some dude, you're having fun with him, you give him you've been presented this card from George Christie, Los Angeles, Hells Angels. And, it was like a big deal, for me to give one away, for someone to accept one. And then people started taking them and making it out like they were members.
Oh, shit.
They were membership cards. So we stopped doing that. And right now, on the internet, I've got like 4 or 5 people impersonating me, and they're getting money from people.
Wow.
And it's like in the old days, you didn't earn your respect from a keyboard, man.
Yeah.
You were out there in the field, at the bar, wherever it may be.
Yeah.
And that's how you earned your respect. But now people are entitled just because, well, I got 200,000 followers.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like Mike Tyson. Like, not enough people get punched in the face. It's like hiding behind a screen, typing bullshit, acting like you're hot shit because you have followers. Is
well, I mean, culture evolves, but at the same time, we're all humans, and we all adhere to this. It's in our DNA. It's like men are going to do what men are going to do. Women are going to do, like, you fall back into your DNA roles, and like, dude, if you talk shit,
it's primal instincts.
Yeah,
man.
if you talk shit, you should expect to get punched in the face. That's just the reality of it. Yeah. And there are laws and whatever, but laws only stop certain people.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes it's worth it to break a little laws to teach some lessons.
So when you guys were giving away these cards and stuff, is that like was that just like, hey, this guy's pretty cool?
Yeah.
Is that like almost like an invite to kind of like be like a hang around type thing?
Perhaps.
Or,
and I'll tell you it's the camaraderie. Like, as you guys are, how long have you guys been a club?
Since 17.
17.
2017.
2018
we were voted into the co-fed here.
So you guys are probably still building and
we're still figuring out our fucking processes.
Exactly, and that's part of the game, man.
Yeah.
And what happens is a lot of these guys get a patch on their back, and they quit participating, man.
Oh, fuck. I know. Well, you don't do that in Hells Angels, do you?
No. Well, some guys try to get away with it.
No, I know. Yeah. Well, our guy, it's the same. It's just, I guess apparently it's the same across the board.
Same across the board.
One of my best friends, he's in the Marines MC. Our founder, Mike Martin, he used to ride with some HA up in Cleveland back in his day, Mike Martin. So he was friends with the guys down here with
What's his time frame? Like, when would this be?
Oh, he was in Vietnam.
Okay, I know when that time is.
Yeah. His name's Mike Martin. Fucking epic, legendary Frogman.
Yeah.
Stories galore.
Tattoos, yeah.
Yeah, he gave me, Anyways.
He owned a tattoo shop down in Ibiza called Flesh Skin Graphics for a while.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Cleveland was kind of on their own thing.
Yeah, but, he came in and he was again, we came in with some blessings and shit. You know what I'm talking about, and we're fine. We're not territorial. We're not fucking with shit, but we get along with everyone, man.
In the old days, that's the way it was, man. You'd be out running around at 2 or 3 in the morning. Everybody's home sleeping, and you'd run into 3 or 4 other guys on choppers. You want to go hang out with them, man.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, you're like, well, am I going to go over there? Am I going to get in a gunfight? What's going to happen? Back in those days, man, it was you saw somebody that lived the same lifestyle as you. You wanted to be around them. You wanted to interact with them. And if you didn't dig them, just, hey, later, man, we're moving on.
10 dimes or 4 quarters.
Yeah.
I'd rather have 4 quarters, is what my buddy said.
Yeah.
And there's nothing truer than that.
Yeah.
And some people are pennies.
You know, because a lot of clubs, I mean, and you know this as well as I do, they form up, they get started, everyone's fired up. Fuck, we have it happen here in San Diego still. Yeah. These clubs come around, they're like, they want to show up, and they do for a minute.
Yeah.
But then they're gone. They just fucking vanish.
And I mean, you think the cut is the prize? You get it, and you're like, okay, I'm accomplished now. You know, I don't have to do it.
It's a trident, man. It's
exactly.
It's a symbol of your fucking loyalty and your brotherhood and everything that you stand for.
It is.
And that's all we do in our club, man. It's just, it's no different. It's just we took the active duty idea that we were going to cover our butts back. No matter fucking what. If he's right, if he's wrong, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, maybe we'll fight over that later.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm going to fight for you right now.
And
it doesn't matter when, where, or what.
That's a perfect segue, because I was going to ask, can you tell the story about getting patched in? Because I think there's a lot of similarities between getting patched into something that means so much, and then also like getting your trident.
Yeah, you know, we have a period of where you prospect. I'm sure you guys do the same thing. And it's basically a learning experience for both sides, because, you know, you got people coming around the club, you might not want them around. You go, I don't want this dude around right next to me. And a lot of people that would come, the true guys, the guys with any honor, if they weren't cut out for that lifestyle, they would knock on the door on, you know, the meeting we'd be in. They're having a meeting. They'd knock on the door and just go, hey, man, I got something I want to say to the club. You know, they come in and go, I can't do this, man. This is not me. And it takes a bigger man to realize he can't do something than somebody going, yeah, I can do it, man. You're counting on him, and he leaves you hanging.
100%.
But, yeah, you know, I did my time. I was independent for like 10 years, created a reputation, developed a reputation, was respected. One of the few guys that would go hang out with the Saint and Slaves, the Question Marks, the Losers from Monterey. Didn't start running around with the Hells Angels till later. But you establish yourself. So people knew, you know, recognized me by my bike. And back in those days, man, if you bought a bike at the Harley shop, well, you couldn't buy a bike at the Harley shop, but if you bought a bike and didn't build it and you showed up, man, you get laughed off the block, man. You know, you better have built that bike, and it better be personal, because someone's going to know that so-and-so built that bike before you because of the stuff on it.
Right.
But anyways, you know, waited for that moment, and it's probably like, it's like going through a boot camp, you know. I know I'm ready, I'm dedicated, but they're not ready to embrace you yet, you know. And you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and that, you know, that's part of the test. They got you doing all this shit. Like, people ask me, well, what do you do as a Hells Angel prospect? Anything they ask you, man. You know?
Yeah.
That's what you do. You want it so bad that you do anything they ask you. And some of the stuff they ask you is borderline shit, you know. But you do it, you know, because you want that death head, man. You're living for it. And I remember old man John opened the door of the clubhouse. And this guy was 6'4", big guy. He was old when I was in my 20s. You know, he was in his 60s. And he just said, Christie, get your ass in here. And I ran into the clubhouse. I knew, man. I could just tell by his voice. I knew that was my night. And I went into the clubhouse, and, you know, walls are lined with Hells Angels. You know, everybody checking me out. Some of them are smiling, nodding their head. Others are looking at you like, first time you fuck up, I'm going to be on your ass. So, you know, you're having this thought of my whole life is about to change, man. And John told Tall Paul, like, you know, the names, man, these guys would come up with. We had Tall Paul, we had Small Paul. Tall Paul wasn't tall, but he was taller than Small Paul.
That's so funny.
And you get all these off-the-wall names. But the old man, he told Tall Paul, he goes, throw him the patch. And I threw it, and I caught it. And he started questioning me. He goes, this is it, man. There ain't no turning back. He goes, we come first. We're number one. Nobody else comes before us. You understand that? Are you willing to accept that? And, I didn't hesitate at all. And I extended my arms, and I opened up the patch, and I swear it looked like that death head was alive, man. It looked like it was breathing.
You had some of those mushrooms?
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. Or that ice.
Yeah, the ice.
And, the old man tells me, he says, well, put it on, man. And I put it on, and there wasn't a mirror there, but there was a window. And, I'm like checking myself out, trying to get a rear view look of the patch on my back. And then I became emotional, man. I was overwhelmed. And
yeah.
The old man was there, and I was looking at him, and he was looking at me. And I just opened my arms up and I ran at him because I wanted to hug him, And I got up there, man. He punched me in the solar plex. And he goes, what are you doing, man? Don't let your guard down. And I told him, I said, that's the last time I do that. And, I was a member of them, and I was in, everything I'd worked for. And when I went back to that street corner, man, in 1958, it had been a long journey, but I was here now. I had it. It belonged to me. No one could take it from me, or I wouldn't let anybody take it from me. And we jumped on our bikes. We went down to Purdue. There was a little old woman down there named Betty, and she made the patches, made them by hand. She had like these patterns, and she'd make all these patches and do the stitching and whatnot. And then she would sew it on your Levi vest. And I rode down, took my jacket off, and she sewed my patch on my vest. And I remember there was 3 rules. She had like a foyer, I guess you call them, where we could wait. And no smoking, no cussing, and no hot rodding when you leave. That was her 3 rules.
Wow.
And I kept 2 of them. I didn't smoke or cuss, but I burned out of there, man.
That's like when we go to the co-fed, and they're always like, hey, when you pull out of here, just, the cops might be around the corner. They're probably watching. Just go ahead and take it easy. You'll know if there's any cops, because they're already chasing someone down that fucking road.
Right.
Yeah.
So, from there, I went to Oakland. It was right around New Year's time. I get up to Oakland, man, and there's, all the heavyweights, Big Al, Moldy Marvin.
Those are some good names.
Cisco Valderrama, Animal, Slave Louie, and they're, they got like $10,000 on they're playing poker, man. They got like 10 grand on the table. I got there, partied there that night. Animal let me lay down in his bedroom. He had a bedroom at the top of the clubhouse. I went up in his bedroom, man. I felt like a king, man. I was up there sleeping in Animal's bed, getting a little rest. Then from there, I went to Richmond, hung out over there. We went over, took me to meet Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead, hung out over there, went to the Frisco clubhouse, then I came back to the Oakland clubhouse. And those guys are still playing poker, man. It's been about 2 or 3 days.
Holy shit.
And, they were just stone partying, man.
Stacking chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, man. We had when we all went through. You had at the time it was you go through buds, which is 6 to 7 months long, and then you go to your team after that, but you don't get your trident. You get your trident maybe 6 months later, roughly, and you have to go through the hang around period, basically, where the team evaluates you, and you got to do all the new guy shit. Take out the trash. It's not.
It's more like a prospect period.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry.
That's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah, it is. It's identical.
It's.
But you've got the training and the knowledge, and are you thinking in your head, come on, motherfuckers?
Well, the thing is, like, Buds doesn't teach you much tactically. It makes sure that you're safe and you're a standard level of toughness, right? And that's pretty much
you
it.
You can follow orders. You can be in one place in the right uniform at the right time, and beyond that, it's like, okay, we'll teach you what you need to know after this type shit.
So you go through what's called it was called STT at the time, which is SEAL Tactical Training. Now the process is different, but you had to go through STT, which was 3 or 4 months long, I think, at the time. And then you went to your Trident board of the team, which was you and usually a group of other dudes, because guys would come up, they'd stack up, 15 dudes, and everybody go through the Trident board. And some guys wouldn't make it. You had to get tested, and all the teams had their own individual Trident boards.
What would be something that would disqualify somebody?
So you had to show proficiency in all the different areas of being a team. So you had comms, you had to learn communications, you had to learn
not knowing shit about a radio, or not being able to put a dive rig together, or not being able to take a weapon apart, or any of that shit. They'd be like, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like,
it was pretty intense. Like we had to study for a couple months. It was a lot of technical knowledge and a little bit of tactical knowledge. And then you went for a Chiefs board, where it was you and most of these dudes. I think I was 21 at the time, 20, and you're in a Chiefs board with all these dudes that you massively respect, and they're just sitting there peppering you with questions, and you're just trying to do the right thing and not fuck up. And you don't really know if you made it until a couple days later. And some guys didn't make it, and some guys even after buds, even after all that shit, just for whatever reason, it was kind of rare. But there was a handful of guys that didn't get selected.
Did they ever get disqualified because somebody just didn't like them?
There was that,
yes.
but it would normally have to be verified by other people. But somebody could vouch for you, or a lot of it was personality driven. Yeah. So
or ways to weed people out too is like when you're going through STT, you're like, dude, this guy's just not cutting the mustard. Now you got 4 sets of eyes. You're under a microscope, and more than likely it's like, okay, this guy just had a safety violation, or this guy he's just not cutting it. Like, we need to get this, get rid of him.
And then you start the paperwork process, and the paperwork stacks up, and then they have a reason to not let you move forward, and then you go off to the regular Navy or whatever. And it's somewhat rare, but it did happen enough that you were scared that like you wouldn't make it through.
It was going to happen.
Yeah, well, the process now is different. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, the process is a little different now.
Yeah, so the process now is you get buds 6 to 7 months, and then you roll right into another training pipeline. Like, they graduate on Friday, and they show up Monday to SQT, SEAL Qualification Training, which is super regimented now, 6 to 7 months long. And that's where we're not trying to, and he and I both taught at SQT for a while, and you're not trying to get guys to quit. You're trying to teach them how to become a team guy, because there's a big technical and tactical gap between buds and being a new guy to SEAL team. So we're trying to make it so when they get to a SEAL team, they're like ready to go and not a drag, so the SEAL team can continue training and not have to dumb it down so much that the new guys are like, not knowing how to do CQC and
They're
shit.
trying to just make them plug and play. So you go through buds, and then now you go through STT, and you go to a team with a fucking trident on your chest. So
Yeah.
you're showing up to the chapter with a fucking patch.
Right.
Don't know if you've been in for a day or 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, well,
Go ahead.
but where I was going with that is like when I was a fucking new guy, and I showed up at the team after making it through buds, everyone knows. I'm a fucking prospect, right? I'm a fucking new guy.
Right.
You're just an FNG. You don't have Trident, and you have to go around to the other teams, Team 3 and Team 1. I was at Team 5. And you meet, they give you the shit to do. Like, hey, go get some fucking bullets from Team 1's armory. So you got to go get a case of ammo that's however fucking heavy that is. Carry it back, but goddamn it, you better have your, maybe a log of Copenhagen or a fucking 12-pack. You're going to go give that to the motherfucker before. And he's going to give you shit when you're there.
Right.
So it's just like fucking prospecting.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting about our club, because like we've all been through that. We all know how that works. Like, we don't have to really judge a dude on buds, All first phase is teaching a dude, or letting us identify, does he have any quit in him? If he does, it'll get exposed and he'll be out.
Right.
Dive phase is next, and that's just like, hey man, can you keep your shit together under extreme duress? By that I mean you're getting fucking drowned.
Right.
Yeah. Can you keep your shit together and follow the proper procedures in order and in time with knowing your own physiology, can I do this fucking without passing out before I get to the surface?
And what makes these guys unravel? Because what the things you're saying, people are under a lot of pressure, and it's certainly different, but it's the same. Like you start having all this pressure, like from other bike clubs, law enforcement, within your own ranks, and I've literally watched people unravel, And one of the things we used to do, David Ortega and I came up with, is we felt that like 2 weeks on the road separates the boys from the men, and you find out what a guy's made of.
100%.
And we would mandatory, if you wanted to be a Ventura Hells Angel, you had to go cross country with us to at least one USA run. You had to go there, complete the run, and come back and, touch base at the clubhouse, if you will. And a lot of guys, that's what broke them. They just couldn't cut it, man. And, here's a guy, David Ortega is a real fair guy. We had a guy that became an infamous informant, and I never liked him, and David never liked him right from the beginning, and we spent months trying to figure out, what are we going to like about this guy? And it finally came down to David Ortega said to me one day, I go, what is it, man? I go, I'm not trusting this dude. And David said, I don't like the way he parts his fucking hair. and that's what it came down to. He just we had a gut feeling. We both stuck to it. Sonny went to prison for 5 years behind this guy. Irish, about 30 other guys. 2 of the guys got 40 years.
Damn.
He was a Hell's Angel, and he flipped and for no reason. Just wanted to write a book. Thought he'd have a movie made about him. His name's Tony Tate, and you can look him up. He's all over the internet. But so a lot of similarities with a lot of differences. There's a lot of people would be offended. I know that these guys are a bunch of fucking bikers. And here's our boys out doing their job, and you guys did. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You can't take that away from anybody in the military. Beverly and I, my wife Beverly, we have a grandson that is in the military right now. He just came off a carrier. He's an air traffic controller. He's followed in Beverly's father. Beverly's father was a career Navy man, and so both my parents, my mother being a former Marine, following in her footsteps. But we're a military family. It's. I don't. The society, the way we're heading, it's like getting politically correct and being politically correct it gets old, man.
Yeah, it goes against human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we mentioned earlier. It's like I worked for years negotiating with all these different bike clubs. With the Outlaws. Dealt with Taco Bowman. I don't know if you guys know him. A real stand-up dude. He was on the opposite team, but I respected him. I knew how dangerous he was. Dealt with George Weggers from the Banditos. Helped end that war in Europe. The Mongols, everybody knows in Southern California, the war with the fucking Mongols is still going on. It's senseless, but it's still there to this day. I was there when it started. And I tried to end it, but you said something. It all goes down. It's primal instincts, man. Mm-hmm. I think man basically likes to fight.
Yeah.
And there's an instinct, and there's hey, that fucking cave looks better than our cave.
Let's take that cave.
Yeah.
No shit.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think that's a great thing to get into. Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, I'd love to get into kind of like how you parlayed your experience as an independent and talk with all these different groups, and then how you use that experience to kind of bring people together?
Well, it's a very unpopular position in the outlaw bike world. People, you run in that world, man. You show any weakness, and it's probably the same thing in the SEAL teams.
Yeah.
You start, where's this guy coming from?
Yeah. Awesome.
You suck one dick.
It was only one.
All right, break.
We're back. Or at least cameras are rolling.
Let's get into it. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. We had some food on the break, so we're good to go now.
Got puppy belly.
All right, so we promised the audience on the way back, or before the break, that we would get into, I don't want to say leadership stuff, but I guess it is leadership. But like your experiences working with a variety of groups in the, I'm using the wrong term here, not nomad, but an independent, and then having relationships with a bunch of different people, and then being in a high up position in the Hells Angels, and then you ended up parlaying that experience and that leverage into negotiating some high end peace deals across the world, essentially.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what happened was I started establishing myself like as an independent writer, like rolling into places back in those days by yourself. A lot of people didn't do it. And if you showed up because you wanted to be part of that club, and I was kind of just checking the whole scene out. And I started getting invited to sit in on question mark meetings and State and Slave meetings. I wasn't a member yet. Never said anything in those meetings. I kept my mouth shut.
Why did they invite you into the meetings as not? Is that
just because I was there?
Is that abnormal to invite somebody who's not a full member?
I don't know. Because I was the only one in there. So was it abnormal? I don't know. But as an outsider, if the shits goes sideways and somebody gets fucked up and gets that 1,000-mile stare on,
Yeah.
you might become a victim. You're not part of the crew.
You're in the crosshairs just by not having the affiliation with the club.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like hanging out at Danny's when you're not a team guy.
I used to show up at these places and by myself, and I would sleep on somebody's couch, like one of the slaves' couch. I mean, people didn't do stuff like that back then, and ultimately I was embraced by all those guys. And as I started winding my way through the Hells Angels, I started learning the political ins and outs. I mean, I know you guys got that in the military, too. And what happened was, I went to prison in 1986. I got indicted for a murder that never happened. Conspiracy that never happened. The FBI created it, and it was brilliant what they did. And they used my relationship with the Mexican Mafia. I had friends in the Mexican Mafia, the high up guys, and they created a scenario where they basically got me to okay a murder of somebody. And how I beat it was I had no intent to kill that guy, and I never would have had an intent to kill that guy. They created the intent, and they asked me permission to kill somebody.
Sounds like the FBI. Yeah.
They asked me permission to kill somebody.
Basically entrapment.
And that's what it was. And it was a really tough time for me because everybody that listened to the tapes, they had taped. I had 19 conversations with this guy. He was an FBI informant. They were willing to compromise him because they figured I was a high-value target to get off the street, for law enforcement. I had 19 conversations. The tape recorder broke on all but 2 conversations. Yeah, right. Everybody listened to that tape thought I was done, You know, I mean, some top country lawyers listen to it and just they go, oh fuck, you know, it's the Grateful Dead had the tapes at the recording studio and they were playing them and the lawyers were there listening to them. It didn't look good for me. And then just by chance, we had given one of the lawyers a motorcycle as a gift that he had beat a bunch of cases, and he got in a wreck and got his foot chopped off, and he couldn't defend me. And you know, talk about serendipity, man, stuff. You know, so I call this other lawyer in, and he listens to the tapes, and he just goes, "Well, it's obvious they framed you." You know, it was like, where you been all my life?
We got the right lawyer.
Yeah, shit.
And so we just start building this thing, and I'd mentioned off screen, like my wife Beverly, she was with a good friend of mine then, who she was married to for 57 years. We came up with the idea to bring in a character witness, and she would come in. Hey, I've known George since he was 12. We've been friends since we were 12, and she'd talk about my character and how I was the same guy that before I was a Hell's Angel leader. Now I'm the same guy. Nothing's changed. And she paid the price for that. They froze her bank account, put her under surveillance. I mean, just how the feds.
Yeah.
So we go prepare, and we go through this trial coming up, but in the meantime, I'm in prison. I get a no bail situation. I can't bail out. And when I get to the prison, Guy Castellon's there. He's the president of Dago Hells Angels. And he's there for killing 2 Mongols. And this same lawyer, he did 4 years for killing these 2 Mongols. Shot them off their bikes on Highway 15, Redbeard and Jingles. When I get there, I said to a guy, I go, who's in here, man? Who do I need to worry about? Because, we're at war with the outlaws, the banditos, the Mongols. I want to know where to go, where not to go. And he just laughs at me. He goes, we don't fight in here. I go, what do you mean? He goes, we're in prison, man. We don't fight in prison. I go, you mean there's Mongols in here and we're not fighting them? And he goes, no, we don't fight them. And I go, what the fuck's going on, man? He goes, you asked too many questions, man. And I go, well, wait a minute, it doesn't make any sense. So as I was preparing for the case and fighting for the case, I kept thinking, man, if I get out of here, this is going to be my motivation. This is going to be my mission. I'm going to go around. Why are we fighting, man? We're all the same people.
Yeah.
And
good point.
I came home, and that's what I did. And immediately, I go on this, I'm going to talk to the outlaws. Eventually, I talked to the banditos, then the Mongols. But the informant, Tony Tate, I mentioned earlier, he's working for the feds, and they get wind I'm trying to end these wars. He comes to me and asks me permission to blow up the outlaws in Kentucky. I'm sitting next to him, and I'm sitting here. There's a secretary. I'm the West Coast chairman of the Hells Angels at this time now. Secretary sitting over here, and he's the new sergeant at arms. I don't know. He come up out of nowhere, I was in jail for that year fighting that case. I was a chairman before I left. They held my position, and when I came back, I stepped right back into the chair. And he wants to blow these guys up. And he's sitting next to me, and he's got this cast on his arm. And it's brand fucking new. Not a piece of smudge on it. It's white. He tells me he gets in a bike wreck. He went down. I go, you're a lucky guy, He goes, what do you mean? And I go, you don't even have a road rash, man.
No road rash.
I go, man, you're a lucky guy. And I'm thinking, this guy's full of shit. And I had a gut feeling that something was wrong with that cast. And he had a bug in it. So
signed by the FBI.
Yeah.
Good luck at your meeting.
So exactly. So he leaves the meeting. Now the FBI's listening to our conversation, and they know I'm not going for this. I'm not buying into his shit. He goes to Sonny's house. They break the cast off his arm. This is all documented. They break the cast off his arm, and they take the bug that's in his cast, and they put it in a new device that's right on the scene now. People are starting to get them pagers. It's like nobody had pagers back then. So he's got a pager. He goes over to Sonny's house, and the feds are listening to him and Sonny talk about blowing these guys up. And Sonny's just 100% on board, man. And he gets a page while they're talking, and it's the feds. And they go, you got to get him to say this.
What, in the middle of the conversation?
In the middle of the conversation, man.
That's ballsy, dude.
It is ballsy. So
holy shit.
He hangs up, gets him, and what they wanted him to say was, Ralph, that's what we called Sonny. His friends called him Sonny. Ralph. Ralph, there's going to be a lot of collateral damage. How do you feel about that? And Sonny just goes, hey, you know what? Fuck them. That's what they get for hanging out with those dudes. And it's all on tape, man. And, he goes down for 5 years. I continue petitioning. Now, the outlaws weren't sure I was earnest about my attempts to, broker peace with them. But now they've got the tapes. And they got me on tape saying, hey, you know what, man? I want to make peace with these guys. I don't want to fight them. I don't want to fucking go to any more funerals. I don't want to go visit one of my brothers at prison. And I said, and you know what? Those guys are just like us, man. Why are we fighting them? And so they hear the tapes, and they go, oh, this fucking guy's on the level. So that kind of opened the door for me with the Outlaws.
That's really cool. Yeah.
So, certainly they got cut against us because some people went to prison and shit behind it. But it also opened the door for those peace talks. And I, negotiated with Taco Bowman, stone gangster guy. I don't know if anybody, you guys know anything about him. He died in prison.
Where was he? Was he like the Midwest somewhere?
Well, he was the international leader of the Outlaws. He was out of Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Real powerful guy. He had a fucking armored car. He was hooked up with a lot of mob guys, and him and I became pretty good friends. But now I'm negotiating with him. I'm negotiating with the Banditos. We're trying to end that Nordic bike war that's going on. These guys are just shooting it up, man, in downtown Denmark, getting a gunfight at the international airport. The Banditos and the Hells Angels. One guy gets killed. And you never guess in a million years who's supplying everybody with the weapons. Inadvertently, the government makes each town or little province or whatever they call it has a militia, and they have to have an armory. And on the armory, they've got a padlock. So everybody's snapping the locks.
Super secure.
And they're going and they're getting these rockets. They're not Law's rockets, but they're similar to Law's rockets. They're getting these rockets. They're shoulder-held rockets.
Fucking RPGs and shit.
Yeah, machine guns, grenades, handguns, because there's no guns over there in Europe. So now everybody's armed. So the Banditos are well armed. Hells Angels are well armed. And the war got so out of hand that the Scandinavian government got word that I was petitioning everybody to make peace because I'd made several trips to Europe. The Scandinavian government calls our government and said, look, George Weggers and George Christie are trying to set up a meeting with these guys. Would you give them a temporary visas? These guys are both murderers. Blondie, who represented Europe, he's probably the most powerful Hell's Angel in Europe at that time, still may be. He just got out of prison. He had killed two guys that later became they became banditos, but he killed them in the process of becoming banditos. He just did 15 years. That's a life sentence in Europe, is 15 years.
What?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. So any murders go to Europe.
Yeah, no shit.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's always that way, but I've dealt with two Hells Angels that have murder convictions. They both got out in 15 years. So I'm thinking that's the standard there. So you've got Blondie and you've got Jim from the Banditos coming to the United States with special permission from the United States government to the Scandinavian government. They got special visas to come over here. And we're having meetings and negotiating. And its war was serious. Now, you've got George Weggers, who leads the Banditos. When George Weggers and I first met, I brought 6 guys with me. He brought 6 guys with him. I know we were armed, and I know he was. Those guys were packing as well. And we had these peace talks, and George and I became so close that at the end we would meet by ourselves with no security. And what we did is we built the trust, and how we did it was, first we met with all the entourage with the guys, and that was just like, you can imagine the cops, man. They were all over us. So we came up with this idea that we would meet in the airport at the ticket area. So you had to go through security. So I couldn't be armed. He couldn't be armed. And that's where we did all the negotiations. And then ultimately, we were wasting money on like a bogus plane ticket. We weren't going anywhere. We were staying right there talking. And then ultimately, we said, let's just meet, man. I go, if you're going to kill me, you would have killed me by now, And he felt the same way. And we became very, very good friends. He's passed on. But his son still calls me from time to time.
How old were you at the time when you were negotiating this?
55, maybe. I'm almost 80. I'll be 80 next year. Yeah. So they give you some time frame.
So, because I know I'm 48.
This is where you're supposed to tell me, you look good for 80, George.
You look good for 79. Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Damn, George, you look a day over 100.
And, I don't feel a day over 79.
I wouldn't pick you for over 79. People forget about airports, man. You used to be able to walk up to the airport.
That's right.
You'd go through security. And
I used to go pick Jerry Garcia up at the airport, and I'd walk right up to the gate.
Yeah.
He'd get off the plane with a briefcase full of cocaine, opium, whatever was in it, LSD.
Pre-TSA, yeah.
Yeah, and we just walked through the thing together. He'd always tell me, he would fly into town, and all the deadheads would fly into town. And he would tell me, don't make eye contact with him, man, because they'd all recognize him. But they wouldn't come up to him because I was with him. I had all my Hells Angel shit on, and they would just leave him alone. But I get him out to the car. I got off subject now, but I get him out to the car. I've got a Cadillac. I rented a Cadillac for us, man. And he wants to go to a 7-Eleven. I don't know. People know what those were. They were like stop and go. He wanted to get a black can of spray paint. He wanted to spray paint all the windows black.
On the car?
Yeah, because he was so paranoid. He goes, I don't want anybody to see me, man.
Yeah, but you got to see out of the car.
That's what I told him. I go, hey, man, that's a rented car. I can't paint the windows black.
Yeah, he's probably really high.
I thought you wanted to get some Cherry Garcia ice cream.
They didn't have it yet, but if they would have, I'm sure he would have.
Well, so you're...
So I'm got a peace treaty, an amnesty on violence with outlaws. We're not shooting at each other anymore. If we ride through somebody's town, it's, hey, I'm coming through. We're not going to stop. Okay, just a courtesy call. The Banditos, we got a ceasefire most of the time. Not always in Europe. Those guys were hot and heavy over there. And now we've got the Mongols. So the Mongols see what's going on with the outlaws and the banditos. The outlaws and the Mongols are communicating, and we've got outlaws coming out here to Southern California interacting with the Mongols. And I've got my spies watching them, and they're watching us and whatnot. So start negotiating with the Mongols, and so we get a ceasefire. So we have a ceasefire with everybody but the pagans. The pagans, they just like to fight, but had a couple of sit-downs with them, and it was cordial and whatnot, but never got anywhere with them. But now we have a honest, certified amnesty with the outlaws, the banditos, and the Mongols. You can ride from one end of the country to the other. No bulletproof vests, no worrying about getting shot. Great time. Now, there's a former, I think he was an Army Ranger, Spike O'Neill. You ever heard of him?
Mm-mm.
Heard of him?
I've heard that name.
Yeah, he was up and coming in the Outlaws.
Yeah.
And we talked earlier about primal instincts. Mm-hmm. He starts hitting on Taco. Man, you look weak. Fucking Christie, man, he's out talking to you, and he's doing this, and he's doing that, and he's just feeding into his, anti-ego. It's kind of like, you're going to let this guy fucking...
goading him up.
Yeah, and so Taco calls me on the phone and actually tells me he's having trouble. And if you look on the internet, there's a famous speech. It's called the Get Dirtier speech. And at the Get Dirtier speech... You know about that? At the Get Dirtier speech, it happened on a New Year's Eve. Taco decides, fuck the Hells Angels, calling the peace treaty off. And I'm sending it, and he's saying this in front of a bunch of people. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. He's going to send a team to California to kill me. And you look it up, Harry Bowman, United States of America versus Harry Bowman, and you can read about all this shit. And so they send a team to Ventura, surveillance type team, and then they leave, and then the second team comes in, and they've got the gun with the silencer and the map and the pictures and all this shit. And they're going to come in and kill me. So what do the feds do? The feds let them come into town. I don't hear about it till after they leave. For whatever reason, they decided not to move on me. The feds go to the Ventura cops and tell the Ventura cops, you got to tell Christie that there was a legitimate...
after it happens. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Because they just want to make their fucking case.
Exactly. So...
Like, oh, yeah, we saw him. We took pictures of it happening. You're like, what the fuck, assholes?
Heads up would be nice. Thank you.
So what happens is... One of the guys on the team, as they're going back, as soon as they cross California into Nevada, it's crossing interstate lines with weapons and all that shit. They arrest him, and one of the guys flips, and he tells them the whole story. That's why it's all in the computer. Wow. His testimony in the courtroom. So
ultimately, why they say they didn't do it? Nobody knows.
Nobody said.
Wow.
Well, I have a tactical question on this. So, like you said, you on the break and plug for our Patreon. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot. We film all the breaks on Patreon. So if you're interested in like all like these crazy kind of like side quest stories, there's a lot of stuff on the Patreon.
The possible indictment stories.
Nah, we definitely bleep all that out. But we were talking about how you haven't driven a car in.
Well, I never
years?
drove. I very seldom drove. I had prospects and members. They drove me everywhere.
Yeah, so you haven't driven until recently.
Yeah.
So what is a surveillance team with a 1%er club that they're, is it verboten to even like get into a car? Like, are you allowed to get off your motorcycle and like look like everybody else? Like, what does a surveillance team for 1%er club even look like? Because you can't just roll up and your fucking tailpipes blazing and camp out in front of the house, Like, what does that look like?
You're talking about the law enforcement surveillance team?
No, I mean, like...
Our surveillance team.
So when the guys were surveilling you...
I completely understand now. God only knows what. I know some of the guys when they were running drugs would put their hair up in a bun, put a wig on, put a white shirt on and a tie with Levi's on, and drive the cars. So there are ways to do things.
Yeah,
it's easier. It's easier around here than it is for us to do it in Iraq. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. The other question I had on that too is like, if you're in the early 50s at the time, because I know life looks different at different stages of age, right? And I'm 48 now, and I came in when I was like 19.
And I want to say, some of my strongest years I felt physically and mentally, and I think there's some continuity between the body and the mind, was in my 50s, man.
Really? Cool.
And I probably into my mid-60s. And I was really felt I was at the top of my game.
Well, it's good to hear. I'm glad I'm not on the downswing yet.
But I think a lot of it had to do with that I took so many drugs.
I'm not opposed to that. But so what I was going to ask is like, because life looks different in different stages of age, which has a lot to do with life experience. How did life look different when you're early 20s, you're in the biker clubs, you're doing your thing, and then you're in your 50s and you're having to kind of corral these younger guys that are coming up that are still in the different stage of life? How do you articulate to them that message of like, hey man, like you're going to understand this at this time, just not yet? Like, what are the conversations you're having with your younger guys to try to talk them out of these situations that are going to end up in a bad way?
Well, the problem is you can't talk them out of it. A lot of these guys, if they want to do it, they're going to do it, man. Yeah. And I'll tell you a perfect example. Monty got killed. The Outlaws killed him in Chicago. I got a young guy. I sit him down. You're going to go represent us. They killed Monty in a really brutal way, man. I mean, it was, really, really brutal. Talk about surveillance. They watched his every move and what he did every morning, and they walked into the shop before anybody was there and stabbed him and shot him and stomped him. And he had a special lock, one of those little slider pins on the back door, so you couldn't open it. Even though the door, everything was open, you couldn't open that unless you knew where the pin was. They went out. They were going to go out the back door. There was one guy who was going to go out the back door. I think I'm telling the story right. The pin wouldn't work, so he had to turn around and go out the front door. Monty refused to die. Monty wraps his arms around, and this guy starts dragging Monty, and you see the blood, through the place. And he finally, I think, stabbed him in the head with his own. He found a screwdriver on one of the workbenches.
Yeah.
And stabbed
Monty
him.
stabbed the guy?
No, the guy stabbed
the other
Monty.
guy did, yeah.
So this young member's going to go back there, and I tell him, you go back there, you pay your respects, and don't fuck around, man. I mean it. And yes, George. Absolutely, yes, sir. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get on the plane. Everything's locked in. I got somebody picking you up. I had somebody that was, I get the phone call. I got in trouble. He goes, I'm on a 3-way call. I go, 3-way call? Where are you? I'm in jail. I go, you're in jail, man. What happened? He goes, I don't know what happened, man. I got charged for having explosives in the car. It was like,
sounds like the military.
Yeah, he goes, I don't know how he beat it, but he was never ratted or anything. But somehow the case unraveled, and a couple of weeks went by. And what does he tell me when he gets home? See, I told you it'd all work out. That's what he told me. So, how do you relate to these younger guys? Sometimes you don't. It's, hey, I walked into 25 Mongols. Outlaws. People ask me, gee, what were you thinking when you did that? Well, I was thinking I was invincible. I walked up there and I thought, in my mind, I thought, why would these guys want to hurt me? I'm coming here to talk to them about peace. But, we were killing each other. And, they surrounded me, and they go, what the fuck you doing here? And I go, I came to talk to Taco. And they go, does he know you were coming? And I go, no. And I waited out there. Taco came out, and it was a gamble, But I truly, in my heart, do you think, like you guys have been in situations, do you think you can make that stuff happen because you believe it? You absolutely believe it, or is it just luck?
I think a little of both. Yeah. I mean, definitely.
Rather be lucky than good. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So I just felt there's no way these guys are going to hurt me. I'm here to fucking pay my respect. And
it goes a long way, man. I think people underestimate the power of belief in yourself and your mission.
Manifestation.
Yeah, but not just yourself, like your mission. Like you have something bigger than you that you're working for.
It is bigger than you.
Yeah, and I think people can feel that. They can feel the genuineness of it, and like, hey, man, like this motherfucker would not be here.
This guy might just be crazy enough.
Well, I had one of them, and Taco had said that to me, but one of the guys just looked at me and he goes, "You're fucking crazy. What are you doing here, Christie?" And they had encircled me. There was about 15, 20 outlaws around me, and they weren't disrespecting me. And Taco came walking around the corner. Taco always wore a black headband. You couldn't miss Taco. And I said to the guy, I go, look, he's smiling. And trying to lighten the thing up. And Taco started walking towards the circle, and they opened the circle up for him. I immediately stepped out of the circle to try to gain some sort of control.
Yeah.
I wanted them to, this is how my mind was working. I go, I'm going to step out of the circle and try to regain some sort of visual control. And it wasn't arrogance. It was, hey,
tactics.
I'm just here to talk, man. And Taco and I talked, and we had a very good relationship. Met him twice in person. I can't tell you how many times I talked to him on the phone. But ultimately he did. He put that murder contract on me. He was on the FBI's 10 most wanted guys. They couldn't find him. He was on a run, I don't know for how long. I know for over a year. And they couldn't find him. Now, I'm told this is how they found him, and I don't know if it's true. I've never confirmed it. He was hiding out with his wife, and then he was hiding out with his girlfriend. And the feds went to his wife and showed the pictures of him and the girlfriend, and said,
"Oh man,
yep." And she told him where he was.
Right over there.
That's exactly what she said. She
Fucking
told him.
feds are ruthless, man. Like, well, shit.
Hey, man, that's Wives Club. That's what we were.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, everyone says, man, my wife's the coolest chick, and it's like, of course she is, man. That's why you married her. She'll stay that way until you divorce her.
Till she's not.
Yeah.
So, Taco is in jail. The new leader, I start negotiating with him because Spike's in jail. So there's no more interference, And, I don't wish anybody to be in jail, but there's been a couple of times I thought, I wish he would have got indicted before Taco, because Taco and I could have probably finished this thing. But I'm back. I'm negotiating with Sprocket. He's a new guy. Banditos, peace in Europe, peace here in the United States. Amnesty with the Mongols until Laughlin. Until Laughlin. And so I get back, and phone rings one afternoon. It's 2002. It's either right after Laughlin or right before Laughlin. And it's Taco. He's calling me from prison. Now, you figure he'd been on the run for a year, maybe a year and a half. He now has been convicted of racketeering, he's gotten life for his racketeering charges, which included some murders, that he'd ordered some murders and whatnot. And he also has an additional 10 years after he does the life sentence for ordering my murder. And so Taco and I are on the phone talking, and he goes, "Hey, George, it's me, Taco, man. What's up?" "Goddamn, Taco, what's happening?" And he goes, "Nothing." He goes, "But I'll tell you what, man." He goes, "How do you keep beating these fucking cases?" He goes, "I ain't having no luck." And I said, "Well, I don't know, man. It all depends on your lawyer." And my daughter was my lawyer. And he goes, "Yeah, I know about your daughter. I heard all about her." He goes, "Do you think she'd help my lawyer?"
It's a big ask.
No kidding. And I go, "You want her to help your lawyer, Henry Gonzalez?" And he goes, "Yeah, what do you think, man?" And I go, "Why the fuck not?" And I'm thinking to myself, the balls on this motherfucker, you know? So Taco and I cut it up a little bit, and we kind of cut it short. And I go, "Hey, Taco, I got to ask you something before you get off the phone." He goes, "Yeah, what's that, George?" I go, "I know you got life for racketeering and then 10 years on that misunderstanding with me." I go, "What are you going to do first?" And he goes, "Hey, fuck you, man." And that was the last time I talked to him.
Oh, fuck.
So, he was in prison doing life. He died in prison. And you know what, man? He had his sense of humor, and I had mine. And I think the dude would really like me. Maybe he didn't, maybe he didn't. Well, but I think he did.
That's what I'm going to ask. Like, how do you feel about that now? Because, I mean, we all have friends and levels of betrayal. I mean, I never had any friends put out fucking hits on me. We definitely had some fucking betrayals over the years. Yeah. How did you navigate that mentally with, like, hey, this is a dude that I feel close with, like genuinely close with.
Right.
And then you have that, like, he's putting a fucking hit on you. And then you got to talk with a guy. Like, how do you feel about that whole thing?
Well, my position was then and it is now. I don't want anybody in prison behind me, If I got a beef with the guy, get on the street, man, and we'll figure it out.
Right.
And I'll meet you out in the desert or off the end of the pier, wherever you want to meet. I'll meet you and deal with it. And we had talked earlier about you've had some senior SEAL members go, "What the fuck? You giving up the shit, man?" Hey, you know what? I'm not giving up nothing. Everybody's dead that I came up with. The statute of limitations have run out. It doesn't exist anymore. They're all gone.
Yeah.
I talked about it before. Terry the Tramp got a hot shot because Sonny ordered it. Sonny got jealous of him because everybody thought Terry was the greatest in that movie Hell's Angels '69, and he ordered a hot shot. He said, "I want that fucking guy to get a hot shot," and he got it, and he died. And you know what? I sat on that since 1978, and when I found out, I was told, because I thought he always OD'd, and Animal was one of the guys that gave him the hot shot. And Animal told me, he goes, "You thought that was a hot shot, man?" I mean, he goes, "You thought that was an OD?" He goes, "That was a hot shot." And I just was kind of like, talk about feeling conflicted, man.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. And
what's a hot shot? They put like Drano in it or some shit?
Well, they give you a very high dose of narcotics,
okay.
and you give yourself a shot and you OD.
Oh, okay.
It's like probably like giving somebody a bunch of morphine shots.
Yeah, or like dudes fentanyl OD all the time. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So
crazy shit.
I think that the past is the past. Now you got me leaving the club, 40 years of what I thought was, great service, honorable service. I get put out bad 2 weeks after I leave. Sonny, all because of Sonny. And I've got this book, Crossing the Rubicon, I wrote, and I talk about a lot of things in it.
Just bought it yesterday.
Did you?
I'm waiting for it, yeah.
And in the things in the book that I said to members and I said to Sonny, I said to their face. It's not some big surprise all of a sudden. This book isn't some big surprise of my posture. There may be some big revelations in it for some of the people, but it's a real inside look at leadership, at the politics, the dirtiness of it. But I'm gonna give you an example. The last time I talked to Sonny was probably 2005, and I stayed in the club another 6 years after this conversation with him. But he called me up on the phone, and there'd been an article and a book that had just come out called Angels of Death. I don't know if you've seen that book around.
Not yet, no.
It's from Canada, and they talk about my tenure as a leader, and they talk about Sonny's tenure as a leader. And in the book, they describe me as, they actually say, the police refer to him as the Al Capone of Ventura because I had such a tight grip on everything. And there's a sentence that said, the longest serving president in the club's history. Because Sonny actually hadn't held an office since 1982. Sonny stepped away in 1982 because he had throat cancer, and he turned over the leadership to Irish O'Farrell and to myself. Irish O'Farrell wound up being mysteriously kind of killed. I mean, we know who killed him and all that, but it was just odd circumstances. So he really took exception to that book. He didn't like the longest serving president. He didn't like other things they said about me in the book, and he called me to tell me that, he goes, I think you're a liar and a fucking thief, George, and I think you've been president too long. And I said, really? That's how you feel about me, man? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, let me tell you what I think. I said, I think what you think doesn't matter anymore. And he fucking hung up on me, slammed the phone down. So, of course, I called him back. I go, hey, Ralph. And I'm being real frantic. I go, hey, Ralph, I think we got cut off. And he goes, no. He talks with that thing. He goes, no, we didn't get cut off. Just before he said hung up on you, I hung up on him. That, honest to God, is my last conversation with him.
Holy shit.
So him and I were at odds, but I'm leading up to something. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I love that man to this day. And sometimes I hate him, man. And my wife will tell you, she was sitting right over there with her arms crossed, giving me the evil eye. She does not like him, but that's how I feel about him sometimes. I'm conflicted, man. You know, I'm conflicted. It's probably like somebody that you served with that perhaps was your senior, but maybe you felt as a SEAL he had lost direction somehow. And you're fucking mad at him. You're thinking you want him to be the old guy. You know, one of my other last conversations with Ralph, him and I got in a big deal about, he made a 911 call to the cops, and I thought it was inappropriate. I didn't hesitate to let him know. And him and I were talking about that. I said, you know what, Ralph? I go, you think I'm out to fucking, disparage you and your name and tarnish you? I go, no, man. I go, I hold you I still hold you in high esteem. And I said, I'll tell you, the Sonny Barger I remember, and the Sonny Barger I will always remember, is when we were at Shasta Lake and the cops told us they were coming in. They were just going to fucking overrun our campground. And Sonny walked up to the front, and I was on his right shoulder. Irish O'Farrell was on his left shoulder, and the rest of it was like a tip, man. We were like the tip of the fucking spear. Yeah. Everybody else was behind us, spread out. And fucking Sonny goes, no, you're not coming in here. And they didn't come in there. And I told him, I go, that's the Sonny Barger I remember, Ralph. I go, I don't know where you're coming from, man. And, that was my last face-to-face conversation with him. And then the next conversation was the one on the phone where he hung up on me and I hung up on him.
Damn, dude.
It was fucking rough, man. He used to have Hoover call me and give me directions. And I could hear Sonny in the back trying to speak real. Oh, he said, tell him this. And then I'd listen, and I'd go, okay, Hoover. I go, hey, ask Ralph if there's anything else he wants you to tell me. And he go, and Hoover go, fuck you, George. And hang up. And actually, that turned out to be a bum deal, too. One of my guys went to Cave Creek. Somebody shot him in the neck, man. Killed him, Hoover, Sonny's right-hand man, somebody killed him. Somebody shot him. It was, and, the law enforcement said it's tit for tat. These things that happen before you act, man, my suggestion to everybody is whether you're a Cub Scout, a Hells Angel, a Navy SEAL, whoever you may be, a police officer, think about your actions before you implement them. Yeah. Because it can change your whole fucking life.
Definitely good advice, man.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Yeah. Take a step back and look at the big picture versus, and I think that's something for the whole grand scheme of leadership. I think you being somebody who's with the club looking at such a long scale, I'm like, dude, why the fuck are we killing everybody? It's not good for business. It's not good for anything. It's
Nobody
not good
wins,
for,
yeah.
And we're all like-minded individuals, whether we
the
wear
same
a
guy,
different,
man.
Yeah,
we're all the same guy.
Whether we have a different patch on our back or not, we're literally fighting for the same thing. And I think that's
I have a saying. I apologize for interrupting. To be an effective peacemaker, you must be willing to go to war. I understand that. And another thing I used to tell my guys is don't make yourself bigger than the position you hold. And that's one of the things I see with people in leadership positions. Suddenly they see themselves as it's a position you're holding, man. Someone else has held it, prior to you, and someone else will hold it after you. Yeah. Yep. You're not special, man. You're special only because these men entrust you. And now, what are you going to do for them? Not for yourself. What are you going to do for them? Because they are the club.
Yeah.
We have smaller rivalries, and it's not really rivalries, but like the Green Berets and the SEALs and the Rangers and all this stuff. But there's also a mutual respect too. But at the end of the day, it's the same person. They just chose a different path. You know what I mean? So we give each other shit, but like, the reality is. These are all our bros. Yeah. And it's
they just don't swim as good as us.
They can't hold their breath as long.
Right.
Yeah.
Which now we're all hydrophobic and hate the water. But
it works out in the end, yeah.
I'll tell you, you just ordered Crossing the Rubicon?
I did, yeah.
I'm really,
from Amazon. So, yeah.
I'm really interested, after you read it, I want call me and tell me, because I think, to me, it's a book that gives you insight on leadership that can be applied in all types of different aspects of life. It's funny. Irish O'Farrell and I, there's a lot of politics and rivalries, like you were saying, in the Hells Angels between the charters, and that possibly may be because each charter is autonomous. So, we're better than them. We're both the same, but we're on team 6. We're,
right.
So they start
equal
thinking
but better, yeah.
Exactly. So you get this rivalry going, and in 1982, Sonny comes down with cancer now. The power used to be in Southern California. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. The Hells Angels were out of San Bernardino. You had Otto, Buzzard, Dougie Pooh, Fat Pat, Crazy Wayne. You had all these crazy guys.
These fucking names are awesome.
I love it.
And they're the power base. They start getting notoriety, and they start getting attention from law enforcement. And these guys slowly are going to jail one by one. Like, could be people out there now saying, well, don't break the fucking law, if you don't want to go to jail. But I'll tell you, every time I've gone to jail, I've been to prison 3 times, and it wasn't for anything I did. It was because somebody wanted to extract themselves from the problem they created for themselves. Yeah. And I was a big get-out-of-jail-free card for them. Judge Wu said the same thing in federal court. He goes, he knew I wasn't guilty of the crime I did. I told him, you have to do an allocution in federal prison. They want you to kind of not confess, but kind of acquiesce. Yeah,
atone for your
exactly. Yeah. And you know what? I told Judge Wu, and he could have denied me accepting my sentence. He could have made me go to trial. I told Judge Wu, I said, listen, I did not order the firebombing of those tattoo shops. I said, what I'm guilty of, and I'll accept, is poor leadership. I said, I was in charge. My guys fucking threw the fucking Molotov cocktails in there. I can't get out of that, and I can't deny it. And he accepted that. But then he said to me, when he sentenced me, he said, God only knows what you've gotten away with, George, in the last 4 years. I mean, that's a pretty ballsy statement from a federal judge sitting on the bench on the record.
Absolutely.
But Sonny takes the power. This is how charismatic, he had a lot of charisma. He takes the power, and he becomes the face and the voice of the Hells Angels. Suddenly I'm hearing about Beautiful Buzzard, Dougie. I meet Dougie Pooh. These are Hells Angels I'm meeting in the 70s. But suddenly it's Terry the Tramp and Sonny Barger, and these are guys from the Bay Area. Sonny takes the power, diminishes it in Southern California, takes it up to the Bay Area, and he becomes the voice and the face of the Hells Angels. And he controls it, changes the center of the patch we had the small death head. He decides he likes the big death head better, and makes the patch, sends it to Purdue, and tells him to change it. He said, this is the new center patch. Purdue shoots bullet holes in it, sends it back to him, and says, fuck you.
Wow.
So what happens? I wasn't there, but a good friend of mine who was a young Satan slave at the time rides into Bass Lake. He's a Satan slave. He's a young, never been to Bass Lake before. His first trip into Bass Lake, and this is his exact words to me. He goes, I pull in, George, and he goes, there's the north and the south, and they're fighting right by the fucking campfire. And he goes, I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, what are they going to do to me? They're fucking each other up.
Yeah.
And, you talk about symbolism and brotherhood. In that fight, Sonny pistol whips Grubby Glenn, who's the president of Purdue at the time, and tells him, we're not changing. Sonny goes, oh, you are changing. Pistol whips him. So we change to the big patch, and everything gets settled, and everybody's brotherly love again for a while.
This is only on the size of the same patch.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And Sonny's still got complete control. I'm going to jump ahead, and then I'm going to jump back. 20 years later, it's Grubby Glenn has just come home from prison. He went to prison. He just comes home from prison, and it's his 25th anniversary or something. And what's really funny is they were both felons. They're both dead, so nobody's going to get in trouble, but they were both felons at the time. But Sonny presents Grubby Glenn with the gun that he pistol whipped him with. That's a true fucking story, man.
That's wild.
It is wild.
Probably with the firing pin file down.
Just in case.
Just in case.
So,
shit.
Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to ask you, man. What do you do with your cut when you go away? What happens to it? You say just give it to the club?
Yeah, you're supposed to give it back to the club.
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
Well, no, I know. Well, you're going to be back if you're not doing life.
Yeah. You leave it with somebody.
Yeah.
Like me, I went to prison 3 times. I left it hanging in my closet.
Yeah.
But so Sonny is in prison, but he's still maintaining complete control through the whole 70s. And you'll see that in the 70s was a real purge, man. A lot of members got killed. Law enforcement said they were all in-house murders, a lot of shit going on, a lot of politics, dynamics. Sonny comes home. He gets in a big power struggle with Sergei Walton. He's a lieutenant. If you look him up on the internet, you can find out some things. He said he was a stone gangster, man. He always had a MAC-10 in his cut on the left side. One of the little ones, the little real.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and but I write about him in it. So they're having this battle, and so these tattoos start popping up. It's Barger's brutal bastards against Walton's warriors, and it took us a while to figure it out. Most of these guys I know them by nickname. I don't know them by their real name. Mm-hmm. But Sergei's last name is Walton, so it was about the battle between. And people were getting that tattooed on them up in the Bay Area, wow. And so Sonny's back. Sonny wins out. He's in complete control again, and he gets cancer, and they tell him he's not going to make it, And so what's he do? He picks Irish to replace him in the North, and he lets me become the voice in the South. And it was a private joke between me and Irish that it took two of us to replace him. you know those inside kind of jokes.
Yeah,
nobody knows about it, but you say something, and Irish and I were both former Los Angeles Hells Angels, so we had a real connection and a camaraderie with each other. That that's how we could joke back and forth. I go, well, Irish, how do you feel about the new spot? And he goes, good. He goes, Jesus Christ, it took two of us to replace him. And a few of the people around us knew. So Irish takes over. He's a new Oakland president and spokesman. I've got complete control in Southern California. I become an international spokesman. I'm doing all this shit. And something happens. Sonny doesn't die. He wants his power back, man.
Yeah.
He wants his power back. I mean, and think about it. You've probably seen this in the military. You've probably seen people that have a particular stature and structure, and the teams view them in a particular way. And when you give that up, it's hard to regain it, man.
Yeah.
It's an elusive. It's not a power that I'm going to knight you and you got the power. It's you create it, and people see it and they feel it off of you. And then when you relinquish it, it's like, how do you get it back? It's elusive and it's evasive and it slips through your hands. So,
yeah, well, even in the military, I mean, there's rank, but rank doesn't necessarily
mean anything.
It doesn't necessarily equate to power and control over all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I have some questions I want to ask on this. You guys want to take a quick break, though?
Yeah, my teeth are floating.
Perfect. All right, good timing.
And we are back.
All right, it's official. We're clapped in. Let's do this.
That was the first time I got the clap.
All right, so I had a couple. We're getting into some things here, but I had a question about just because in my own life I deal with, and I think everybody deals with these relationships and these people in your life that they're really strong in some ways, and then you have contention with them. And you love them, but then they're not in your life anymore, and you have this kind of, it's not a love-hate, but it's
well, almost.
Yes, it's a push and pull. Yeah, I mean, yours is an extreme example of that for sure. Yeah. Mine is not that extreme, but I think everybody probably.
Yeah, but you had it was volatile enough, I'm sure, that shit can happen. Like I said, we were talking earlier. You got to stop and slow down and think about what you're doing, because one act affects you the rest of your life, man.
Yeah, and it's hard to unsay things.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, that's why you got to be sure that you mean what you say. So your relationship with Sonny, and you guys have been in decades in this really tumultuous kind of push and pull battle over the years. And what year did he die?
He died in 2023 or 23. I received a phone call, and he said, guy on the other end said, "You recognize my voice?" Because it was a member calling me to tell me Sonny was dying if I wanted to talk to him.
And then I was supposed to call you at that time.
Yeah. So he said, "You recognize my voice?" And I was fucking with him. I go, "Yeah, it's my rabbi, isn't it?" And he goes, "Yeah." And so it was funny. He didn't ask how I was doing. Nothing. Just got straight to business.
Yeah.
And because he knew he wasn't supposed to call, because the penalty for calling me or interacting with me was getting expelled from the club. So,
damn.
He said, "If you're going to reconcile with Ralph," he goes, "I think you better do it, man, because he's done, man. He's not going to be around much longer." And I actually got up and got out of bed and started making a decision. Am I going to call this guy, or what am I going to do? And, I say this humorously, but there's some truth in it. I figured it was a good possibility him and I would get in a big fight on the phone. And I figured if he died when he was on the phone with me, I'd get the blame. So I didn't call him. And so what I did do was I started writing that book. And it took me 3 years,
Is that the Rubicon one?
Yeah. I started writing that book the next day. And I start off with me going up. These are some serious guys, man. Here, I'm called to come to Oakland because I won't allow Irish to transfer to Oakland because he's a Los Angeles Hells Angel. I'm the president in Los Angeles now. Either that or I was the vice president. It's hard to remember. It's been so many years as it's, the time creeps by. But I wouldn't vote for Irish to transfer. It takes 100% vote. So Russell Bea, real heavyweight in the club, calls me on the phone and asks me to come up. He said, "I need to talk to you about this Irish thing." And Los Angeles and Oakland were fighting. We weren't getting along. Our president, who had replaced Old Man John, had just been murdered. And the cops were saying it was in-house murder.
Oh, shit.
There was a lot of shit going on. So when Russell asked me to come up, I wasn't going to say no. I said, "Okay, I'll come up." Now, Russell had only been home from prison about 3 or 4 months. He had gone to prison. Him and Moldy Marvin went to prison. Some guy shook hands with him, and they didn't like the way he shook hands with him, and they got in a fight, and they killed him.
Wow.
And, these are serious guys, and whether you agree with it or, I don't want the people out there to go, Jesus Christ, this. I'm not saying I'm proud of it. I'm just telling you, this is the facts. This is,
right.
I just present the facts. It's like the case,
Yeah.
The lawyer presents the evidence, This is the kind of guy I was riding up to see. So I go up there and I won't budge, man. I told Russell. And now I had kind of an ace in the hole that a lot of people didn't know about, probably till I exposed it in the book. I wasn't worried about anything happening to me because Russell had been a Satan slave before he became a Hell's Angel, and not very many people knew that. So I knew that Slave Louis called Russell and just said, "Don't you fuck with this guy, he's a good dude, man. He's a good friend of mine." So I had that going up there. I had kind of the cards stacked a little bit. I wasn't worried about it, but I knew that this was a guy to take seriously. Went up there, argued with him for about an hour, and I wouldn't budge. And And ultimately, Oakland got what they wanted. Irish transferred, But the point was, I wasn't going to just give in because they said this is what I wanted. I wanted them to work for it. And I wanted everybody in the club to see they had to work for it. And that was me being a leader,
Yeah.
And
you're not just going to bend over for it. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm talking to Russell at this meeting. And at the end of the meeting, he goes, there's somebody up the street that wants to meet you. It's Sonny Barger. Sonny Barger lives about a half a block away from Russell on Golf Links Road. That's where they lived. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Probably like, meeting some famous Navy SEAL or something, that you guys have a lot of respect for. I was fucking excited, man. I'm going to go meet Sonny Barger right now, man. And I had ridden my bike up there. Russell and I got on our bikes. We only rode a half a block, but, I wasn't walking to Sonny's house. I was riding my bike and parking it in front of his house. We got down there and we talked politics, talked about the Mongols, talked about shit that had happened while he was in prison that decade, talked about Sergei, I was like a kid, man. I was like, I'm meeting my fucking movie star idol here, and then we talked, and then I think he dismissed me, he said, Animal's looking for you, and so I went to the Oakland clubhouse. I've had enough sense to know that my time with him was up, and he wasn't going to tell me to leave, but he was telling me to leave,
Yeah.
And
you didn't have to kiss the ring or anything.
No. Well, I don't want to talk about that part. So, I jumped on my bike. I went down to Animal, and he took me around. I met a whole bunch of Hell's Angels that day. I met, Jim Brandis, who later I write about him in the book. You get an old Rolling Stones article. Jim Brandis had this reputation. You know what thumb locks are? Chinese thumb locks?
Yeah, like finger cuffs,
yeah, finger
right?
cuffs, yeah.
Yeah, you put them on your... So the story goes, and there's a picture of him in Rolling Stone magazine, and Jim, no, it's Sonny, Sergei, and Kenny Owens are giving a thumb down to Jim. So Jim goes over to this guy's house. They'd had a problem with the dude. This is just a legend. I don't know this for a fact. This is what I was told. So Jim says, put these on me, man. Check it out. So he locks Jim. Jim can't move, and he goes, fucking trip, man. Can you imagine that? Just your thumbs. You got me, man. And he goes, take them off. And he takes them off. He goes, let me put them on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rest. He puts them on this guy, and that's the picture in Rolling Stone. It's not a picture, it's a drawing. But he puts the thumb locks on this guy and caps him in the head and leaves. Now, the legend of this guy, there's a cop up there named Zerby, and Jim's a very, he knows how to cook crank. He's, people think that everybody in the club was cooking crank. No, there was a handful of guys that knew how to do that, and they didn't share that with anybody because that gave them power and control.
Secret recipe.
Yeah, the secret recipe, absolutely. And I always laugh when the cops are going, they were all making crank, and no, people were manipulating people with that stuff. But anyways, that's one of the reasons I didn't get way off into the drug business, because with those guys up there, because they would control you, So Jim's a crank cooker. Zerby's a cop up there, and they start having this issue. So Jim orders a bunch of chemicals from the back east somewhere in the south, and they send the chemicals out on a truck. This is, you know what P2P is? Mm-hmm. That's how you make really good crank. You use the P2P recipe. There's different recipes. They use the P2P recipe, and you get this, you do a little blast and you're up for a week. It's high power 70 shit. So Jim has the latest in surveillance equipment. So Jim's wanding the barrels of P2P, and there's transponders in them.
Oh, shit.
So Jim opens the barrels up, takes the transponders out, and puts them in a truck stop, sends them to Canada. Jim goes up to the lab and cooks 30 pounds of crank with the P2P while the feds are chasing this truck going up to Canada. They're trying to figure out, where's this lab at. So Zerby raids Jim. Zerby figures it out. They find these transponders on wherever. So he's got a hard-on for Jim now. So he raids Jim's house. Jim is also, he has a reputation as a bomb expert, and his house is supposed to be booby-trapped. So the cops put a board under his arms and handcuff him under the board, and then they make him go in first in the house. They take his children, and they put his children in the system, and they get lost. So his kids are lost for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And so Officer Zerby goes out to his car one morning, and he's standing. The bomb's not in the car. The bomb's hidden in the grass, where Zerby has to stand when he opens his door. And allegedly, Jim's on the hill with a remote and blows him up. Now, there's a movie called Hear No Evil. You can look this up on the internet. This movie's around, and that's the movie about Jim and Zerby. So for your diehard people that want to check this shit out, the people that are going, this guy's full of shit. No, I'm not full of shit.
I don't think anybody thinks you're full of shit.
So check it out. It's an interesting movie. So the bomb was built, according to the law enforcement bomb experts, the bomb was built to maim, not killing. So
damn. It's way worse.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. So
what happened to Zerby? Or do we have to watch the movie?
He got a movie. So are you thinking about getting blown up?
No. I gave that shit up for Lent.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. So now I'm up there. I met Sonny. I come back. And I'm like, I even write in the book that I'm coming home, and I know I'm fucking. It's like flirting with danger, man. I know it, man. I feel it. I know it, and I got all these thoughts in my head, and so what do? I just fucking crank my throttle up and drown out my thoughts, man. And
yeah.
And then the next 40 years, I just, that's 40 years in the Hells Angels, around the club. It's like I was stepped into that world in 1966. So it's 20, I don't know how many years it's been. I mean, I still consider myself part of that world. I'm not wearing a patch, but, I get out on my bike. Beverly and I were out riding last weekend, and I'll probably get out this weekend too.
So when you did a clean break, like what decision? You were just like, all right, I gotta give up, or were you? Or was it like kind of ordered, or is it something?
No, I quit. Nobody even had a clue. I went to the meeting, and look, it took me 2-3 years. And I'll be honest with you, man. This may be something you guys can relate to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the ex-Hells Angel. It's like, do you want to be the ex-SEAL?
Right.
It's like I just didn't know if I could do it.
It's a different identity, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I'm not going to bullshit anybody. If I would have stayed in the club, wouldn't have been because I believed in it anymore, or I wanted to do it, or I was having fun. It would have been because my fucking ego couldn't handle being. Yeah, didn't that used to be George Christie? And And I couldn't take it no more. You know, I told my son was a member then, little George, he's passed away, but he came there that night, and I said, son, I need to talk to you real quick. I go, I'm done, man. And he goes, what do you mean you're done? I go, I'm done. I'm done. And he thought I was stepping down from president. I said, no, man, I'm over it. And I go, just listen to what I have to say. And he goes, I support you, man. He goes, whatever you want to do, Dad, you can do. And you earned it. And I walked in the meeting, and I said, look, and I think my provocative statements probably didn't help me either. You know?
Right.
I said, I think we have become the people we rebelled against. And I said, this isn't what I signed up for, man. I said, I don't want to kill my friends. I don't want to kill people that think like me. I go, we're fighting wars on 5 fronts. And I go, now you want to fight the Vagos. I go, we're already fighting every other bike club. We're fighting law enforcement. And you want to take on the Vagos. I said, I know the Vagos. I said, I've known them since the 60s. I go, they are not going to take any shit off of us. I go, they will tell us to go fuck ourselves. And people just said, you know, fuck those guys. You know, yeah, well, they don't know. You know, I had people right in the meeting. You're getting old, man. You know, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And
how old are you at the time?
2011.
Yeah, it's 15 years ago. Yeah, so you were 70?
70, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah, getting up there. Yeah.
68.
65.
Yeah, 68.
You know, it fucking boils my blood, man, whenever I hear about clubs that turn on their fucking elders.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's really, it
seems to be the norm
man.
now. It's everybody's out bad, you know, and the people I talk to, other bike clubs, talk to some Mongols, some outlaws, it's become kind of a joke.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, are you out bad too? You know?
Well, for our viewers too, or listeners, like out bad, so you basically, I don't know, does it have to be a vote? Like, hey,
no, Sunday just put that on me, man. You know, those people can say whatever they want. Oh, you didn't quit. We kicked you out. No, nobody kicked me out. And if they would have tried to kick me out, I'd probably still be there. Just out of stubbornness, you know. But no, I quit. I told them, I said, look, we're fighting wars on 5 fronts. You want to take on the Vagos? I go, think about it. I go, read your history. I go, what happens to dynasties? I go, to empires. I go, they turn inward and they crumble. And I go, that's where we're heading. And I said, I don't want to be there for that. And I said, I'm hanging it up. I go, I'll always be around if you need me. I planned on interacting with them. And that's why I mentioned earlier, I think a clean break's better.
Yeah.
I really do. But so I'm in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody's coming. There's a rumble outside. We're hearing, yeah.
You think they're here for me? So, lost my train of thought. Where were we?
So when you're
okay,
making a clean break.
Okay. So, you know, I say, look, you guys are going to turn inward. You're going to run out of people to fight. You're going to start fighting amongst yourselves. And I said, I don't want to be here for that. So what transpires? Within 3 or 4 weeks, they're at war with the outlaws. The Vagos. They get in an argument with the Vagos up in Reno in a casino. The Vagos pull out a gun. They kill Jethro Pettigrew. He's the president of San Jose. Good dude, man. I knew him forever. At the funeral, what transpires? 2 Hells Angels start arguing who's responsible for Jethro's death. And one Hells Angel hits the other guy. The guy's got a just unbelievable reputation. He's actually killed somebody by hitting them with his bare hands. So his reputation is about to catch up to him. The guy gets knocked on his ass. The other Hells Angel, he pulls out his gun and he shoots Steve Tossin. So everything I said happened. They're at a 5,000 to 7,000 people at Jethro's funeral, and this gunfight takes place right in front of everybody. Damn. Now, it gets worse. Steve's laying there dead. Steve Ruitz, the guy that shot Steve Tossin, disappears. So the next day, one of the cops comes up with the idea that Steve is buried under Jethro. So they exhume Jethro and looking for Steve underneath his coffin.
Wow.
So I mean, it's just a fucking mess. And, Steve went on the run. Eventually they caught him. And, I mean, I don't think his life's too good. Steve Tossin was a very popular guy, bigger-than-life type guy. Former Marine, professional boxer, real tough guy.
Yeah.
And,
Damn.
just a fucking mess.
So when you were addressing your club, for you to kind of take a step away, do they, as a chapter, do they have to vote on that to kind of let you, or you were doing it regardless?
Yes, and what happened was they designated that I would be out in good standing.
Oh, okay.
And as soon as Sonny found out I was out in good standing, he changed that to out bad standing, no contact. He made sure there was a no contact rule, so they couldn't interact with me. He didn't want anybody interacting with me. I used to, like I said, love-hate relationship. I love the guy, but there were times, man, I would get so mad at him, and he would do things that I felt was detrimental to the club. I told him one time, I go, you know what the problem is, Ralph? I go, I think I belong to the club. I go, you think the club belongs to you.
Big difference.
That's a big difference, Ralph. Mm-hmm. And, no disrespect, but fuck it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And it's
crazy shit.
It's tough, and I know you guys understand having that military structure. And, it's like a lot of the things I learned in the Marine Corps and a lot of things I learned working for the Department of Defense, I tried to implement them. And, you were asking me earlier, hey, what prompted you guys to move out of Los Angeles?
That's what I was going to lead off with next.
And, we're down there. We've got 6 deaths in 6 months. We've got
a lot of funerals.
We've got a garage with 2,000 pounds of dynamite in it, an anti-tank, British anti-tank rifle, machine guns, a lathe to build silencers, handguns.
It's good armory, yeah.
And right in the middle of downtown L.A. And it starts all unraveling. In the midst of all this, we wind up going to the Great Western exhibit. It's a new thing on the bike scene, swap meets.
Right.
Motorcycle swap meets. They were brand new. Recipe for disaster, man. Everybody drinking, loud music. We go to this deal. We get in a fight with the Mongols. And it's just complete pandemonium. Now, in that fight, there's some observers from law enforcement standing off to the side because they have an informant who is a prospect for the Los Angeles Hells Angels. So they don't know what to do. And should we stop the fight? Do we expose him? And this guy's got a kickstand, and he's knocking Mongols, and I'm fighting. We're all fighting. There's 9 of us against 40 to 60 of these guys, and I got that count from the cops that had this informant under surveillance. And what you can do is you can get a book, a chain of evidence, and all that information's in that book. It was written by the undercover police officer that they took out of the academy, a female. She was the prospect's girlfriend, supposedly, but she was actually a Orange County police officer. It's amazing because I never bought into the fact that was his girlfriend, because I was going, this girl's too good looking and she's too smart to be with this clown. This guy was just one of the toughest guys I've seen. A big, tough Gunsel guy, 6'4". He had a guy one time. After about 20, 25 minutes, the guy didn't wake up. I really started getting worried.
That's a long time to be out.
A long time. And wow. I told a couple of the people, I go, man, somebody get some water on him and get that guy moving around, or somebody back the truck in.
Start digging a hole.
Yeah, we have this guy on our team, Drago. This guy's story is fucking legendary. He's a Polish immigrant. Got his teeth kicked out in the Polish gulag.
Yeah.
And then he became a Navy SEAL. But he was known for carrying, and he also has a one-punch kill, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the story I got was like, he actually killed a guy overseas because he basically caved a guy's skull in by punching him one time. He's just a wild man. But he used to carry around clothespins. When he'd knock a dude out, he'd clothespin his tongue to his lips.
So he couldn't bite it?
So they wouldn't...
swallow it?
Yeah, he wouldn't swallow it. He wouldn't die. As a courtesy.
Yeah, he did a lot funnier shit than that.
Yeah, Drago's amazing.
He used to break all the guys... When we'd go on target, because I worked with him, well, you did too.
Yeah.
We both did.
Yeah.
He'd fucking break their fingers. He's like... And then we just told the hospital...
It's their trigger finger, though, right?
Yeah.
No, fucking all their fingers, dude.
Yeah, I watched him do it. I watched him...
Just in case you're left-handed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the significance of the fingers broken? Because I'm going to tell you a story about...
No, just so they couldn't
can't
shoot.
pull a trigger.
So they can't shoot you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You go on, it's not like every Muslim is a terrorist. It's just that every fucking terrorist has been a Muslim. So,
Yeah.
So this show's not politically correct.
No, absolutely not. No. There are no woke,
Yeah.
no woke audience members.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I do have a question for you. I've been saving for a while, and then because I know you got to go, but maybe it's a little bit of a deep question, and then we'll get into some funny stuff later.
Why,
But,
you think I'm funny?
Do I make you laugh when I'm a clown?
in a good way. But so when you're in this kind of tug of war for not tug of war for power, but in this kind of tumultuous relationship with Sonny.
What's a tug of war for power? I think it is. I think, in all fairness, I don't feel I stepped into it on a tug of war for power. I stepped into it because I wanted to implement what I thought was best for the Hells Angels at large.
Yeah.
It wasn't a personal thing. It was, man, he would get
Like a clash of visions for the direction.
Absolutely. Yeah. He had a different vision than me. He had a vision, and I'm getting off track, but he had a vision. One man, one vote. That's not the way the club was set up. The club was set up with each charter, no matter what size it is, gets a vote. It'd be like SEAL team. SEAL team, gets one vote. We're going to do this or we're not going to do this. And all the SEAL teams vote, and you get 2 no votes, it gets shot down. And Sonny got so mad because he came off with this, and I said, listen, this is what's going to happen. I go, we're going to lose quality of people because people are not going to want to be outvoted. So they're going to compromise and let somebody in that they think that they can intimidate into voting this way or that way. I said, another problem is if somebody's doing business with somebody and they don't vote the way they want them to vote, sorry, man, there's no chemicals this month, so, I can't help you out. So there was a lot of things, and I broke all this stuff down to the members. And the club voted with me against Sonny, and it was just probably not a smart thing for a young Hells Angel leader to do, man. But I did it because I thought it was best for the club. Yeah. And when I was in prison in 1986, I came back and he had changed the rule.
Sounds like a Democrat.
He had changed the fucking rule, man.
Move the goalpost.
Yeah. And I was so devastated. I came back and I told the club, I was the West Coast chairman, and I said, look, this is something I think we need to revisit in the future. I go, we're taking away the personalities of each charter. And I go, we're not vanilla, man. We're all not the same flavor. I go, we've got personalities. Each charter has a different personality. I go, that's why I go to other charters to hang out and to get some insight. What do they think about different political things and postures I have? What do they think about making peace with the outlaws? A lot of people were, it was very unpopular. It was a really unpopular position at first, but I held my ground. But the interesting thing was, I go to Europe, and I give this heartfelt speech to all the Hells Angels in Europe. We're in the Amsterdam meeting, and I'm talking about fighting the banditos. And one of the some of these guys, man, in the Scandinavian countries, they look like Vikings, man. Yeah. They're fucking big, and they're boisterous, and they're hard-headed. And I go through all this, the dynamics and the banditos and how I know them from Texas and how I've interacted with them. And at the end of the speech, one of the guys stands up and he goes, I respect my brother George. He's got that broken accent. He goes, but I will tell you, we're going to kill every bandito in Europe. And, and then the room erupts into this you can stomping on the floor and clapping and howling. But what happens that night at the party? People come up to me. That's maybe not a bad idea, try to work with these guys. It's like they don't want to be compromised in public because they don't know how they're going to be perceived. Yeah. And,
sign of weakness.
And it is. Yeah. And I don't want to say that about my brothers, former brothers, or anybody in the future. But it is. They're afraid to voice their real opinion. I mean, that's what makes you a real man. If you're taking on an unpopular subject, man, and you stand your ground, you say, listen, man, this is what's best for all of us. Maybe not right now, but maybe 5 years down the road.
Yeah, that's a leader.
Yeah,
100%.
And I just laughed at the end of that because ultimately they wanted peace, man. They didn't. They knew they weren't going to kill. I told them too. I go, you think you're going to kill every bandito in Europe? I go, give me a break.
That's a lot. So, but the question I have is this clash of visions that you and Sonny had when he passed away. Is there two parts of this? Number one, is there anything that you wished you would have said to him? And then is there anything that you wished he would have said to you? Looking back, and is it like...
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to use this as a metaphor and what I would have liked to have happened, but this actually happened when Sonny and I were fighting. It was my 30th anniversary. And him and I were really at it. And I think Josh had just got killed and Hoover got killed. And it was my 30th anniversary. It was getting late into the night. And all of a sudden we hear these bikes. You could hear Ventura, everything would echo, off the old part of town, off the buildings. We hear a pack of bikes coming. And I look at and I'm going, man, it's late. And it was Sonny, and with the guys from Arizona, and he walks in the clubhouse. Now, granted, I had ate a bunch of mushrooms and what else that night, but he walked in. All of his guys are behind him. I got up and I walked towards him. It was almost like time had stood still, It was, you can imagine what everybody was watching us.
A lot of weight in that, yeah.
And I walk up to him, and I put my arm around him, and I go, I leaned in and I go, I didn't think you were coming. And he goes, there's no place I'd rather be, George.
There you go.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
And that's, maybe I didn't want to ruin that moment, like calling him on the phone and getting in a big "fuck you, motherfucker."
Yeah.
And I just remembered him, and I leaned in and I kissed him on the cheek. We're not gay, but I mean, what a memory, man. I mean, maybe it sounds corny, but it sure the fuck wasn't corny to me.
No, man, you got to hang on to what you can.
Yeah, man, it was just like I'll remember. I'll never forget that as long as I live, man. It was just like I didn't think you were coming.
Man,
he didn't even miss a beat because there's no place I'd rather be. Man.
That's awesome, dude. That's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
How many charters? How many charters are in, like, say, California?
Well, probably close to 18, 19 now.
Yeah.
When I got in the club, it was the North was saturated, and it's funny. We used to call it R&R. We were fighting down here, and no, it's not saying anything bad about Purdue. Los Angeles and Dago carried that war. That was the guys that carried that fucking war, and we would go up to the Bay Area, man, and you got 13 charters like in a 100-mile radius. I mean, it was like,
and each charter needs to have.
Yeah,
like
7,
20
8
members?
Guys.
Oh, okay.
They usually have 7, 8 guys, but up there they had large numbers. So
right.
And I mean, you just go up there and it was party in this town, go to the next town, party in that town, go to the next town.
Well, like shit, there's no bullseye on our backs down here. Or
exactly.
Up here.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're just running around, king of the hill. It was great. It's like I got off track, but when all this stuff was happening in L.A. So Ray Glore gets busted after that fight. Ray Glore took over for Old Man John as president. Ray Glore was not a very good leader. Rest in peace, Ray. You're not around anymore. But, that was the fact.
Yeah.
Made some tremendous blunders. One of the biggest blunders he did that I never could understand was he was negotiating with Montevilla, who was head of the Mongols. This is before we were killing each other. And he started recording all the conversations. And, man, like the old school guys in Oakland and some of the old school guys in Southern California, man, they couldn't believe he was recording. And you listen
like
to the
in
tape.
secret, right? Like they didn't
he
know
didn't
that he was
know.
recording.
No.
Okay.
And you listen to the conversation, and this is what I never could understand. You listen to the conversation, and Montevilla was a fucking street fucking gangster, man, and he was running circles around Ray. And, why Ray would take those and play them to a body of Hell's Angel presidents, I never figured it out. I asked him one time, I go, Ray, why are you recording this shit, man? I go, don't sound good. I didn't say, Ray, you sound like a fucking trick, but I just said, it don't sound good, man.
And the fact that he recorded it, it's like, that's pretty fucking
sketchy,
lame.
man. Yeah. So that happens. So we've got 2,000 pounds of dynamite. We got all that shit in the garage. Ray calls Jesse. Hey, Jesse, go to the garage, clean everything out. I'm afraid they're on to us. Jesse goes over to the garage to clean it out. Walks up to the door, sticks the key in, turns it. Fucking Ray's working with the cops, it looks like. So later that night, someone goes to Ray's house, kills him, shoots him in the head like 9 times. Jesse's arrested. I hired this young lawyer, Bruce Robertson. This guy's like one of these, these lawyers, a lot of them, they're either really good or they have a short span.
Yeah.
And they're very ballsy and they're come up with all these ideas and then they burn out. And Bruce was kind of one of those guys, but he got to liking the cocaine bag too much. But in the beginning, man, So what does he come up with? He says to the DA, he goes, so Jesse went to the house, what was in there? And the guy goes, 2,000 pounds of dynamite. And he goes, no, what was in there when Jesse went to the garage?
Damn.
And he goes, well, it was empty. And he goes, well, how could you charge him? He goes, it was empty. And they had to make a deal with all that shit in there and all the bombings and all that shit they knew happened. They had to give him probation.
Wow.
He pled to 1 count of owning a machine gun without a license and got probation. So now Ray's gone. Jesse's on probation. Old man John takes over the club again. I step into the vice president's spot. And I get rid of all what I consider. I go to John and I go, look, there's a lot of dead weight in this charter, man. I go, got to cut the fat, man. You know, get rid of these weak links. And I go, but I got to have your permission. You're the boss. And so he says, okay. So Jesse and I, we go clean house. You couldn't go anywhere, man. You can imagine the cops were fucking on fire, mad.
Oh, I'm sure.
They couldn't put
after none of that shit stuck.
Yeah, they're really on fire. They got 6 murders on their hands. So I come up with this thought. I go, what if I could talk the Satan slaves into becoming Hell's Angels? And we make a I called it a tactical retreat. That's how I presented it to everybody. We make a tactical retreat to Ventura. The police don't know where we went, but they see 20 Hells Angels now in San Fernando Valley, and they think those guys are the perpetrators. And that's what we did. We moved to Ventura. They started focusing on the...
Get off the X, yeah.
Yeah, they started focusing on the Satan slaves, and the Satan slaves knew what we were doing. And I had gone to the charter and said, look, I mean to the California people, and said, look, I come up with this idea of a tactical retreat. I go, we're not leaving. It's just a tactical position. You know, I'm giving them all this. And people thought about it. And so we just pack up, man. We don't tell anybody. We pack up, move to Ventura. We're up in Ventura drinking pina coladas on the beach. The slaves are taking all the heat, which they knew, and they didn't mind because they didn't do anything. Yeah, they're not going to catch them on anything. The cops won't share their information. They're all fuck you and each other, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they use it against them, yeah.
Yeah, so they all want to be the ones that make the bus.
Yeah.
So they don't want to share the glory, so they won't tell the other agencies anything. And it's, it's human nature, man. It's like the cops, you know, they have a goal they're trying to achieve, but they're not willing to compromise.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? That still
a lot of it's ego driven too, you know.
Yeah. It's human nature.
You think you're working towards a common good, but you're not willing to give
Fuck
up.
those motherfuckers, man.
Well, yeah. I mean,
exactly
you're like,
what
hey,
said.
I want to put all these guys in jail, but I'm not willing
to give up
the glory.
To give up my, to give up any glory that I might get from this.
So we're up in Ventura. 10 years almost passes now. You know, nobody knows who did what, when, where. Time has passed on. No computers, no police reports being shared between the agencies. What happens? The guy that built the bomb with the tire in it, a bomb was built. A Dago Hells Angel and Los Angeles Hells Angel built a bomb together. They stuffed the tire with dynamite. And then they took the valve stem and they used it. As you extracted the valve stem, it brought it up, and the contacts hit, and the bomb went off and cut the guys in half. So the bike builder got hotter than hell. So he moved to New York under a new name. He gets busted in Operation Rough Rider in New York in 1985. And it's been almost 10 years. And at some point in time, he says, how would you guys like to solve some murders in California? He tells the feds. And they go, yeah. And he goes, okay, here it is. And he laid it all out. Guy went to prison. for the Mongols. My guy Tom Heath went to prison for taking the bomb into the shop.
Craziness.
Yeah, it's wild, man. And for nothing, really. Over fucking hurt feelings and
Isn't that crazy?
Egos.
Yeah. It's human nature at the end of the day. Well, how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then I have some. Let's end it on a funny note, because I do have some. You've been in this wild, secretive enclave society for decades at a super high level. I would love to hear some just like, what's the craziest fucking stories you've heard of or seen or observed, or like that time, like you were telling another podcast where Von Dutch, like the guy from Von Dutch, you got in a fight and then you're stitching his head up at the bar. Yeah. Like I would love to hear those funny stories, but let's take a quick break and then we'll come back for that. We're back in official. We're clapping in. All right, cool.
Last segment.
So
we said that before.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, George, thank you so much for sticking around. And like, I know this is longer than most of the shows that you do, but like, this is just such fucking cool.
Well, you
stories.
won't give me my fucking keys back.
I don't have your keys. Do I have your keys?
Where are they?
Oh, but we were talking on the break about the coins, and the coin that you have is available on your website, which is fucking super dope. The 1%er thing.
Right. And this is the deal. I've had some people call up and cry. You know what, man? It's a 1%er coin. It's a commemorative coin. I'm honoring a lifestyle that I loved and lived. And you know what?
If 40 plus years.
If you got to fucking ask if you can have it or not, maybe don't order it.
Yeah.
You sound like a bitch.
Yeah. And if somebody can take it from you, then maybe you don't deserve to have a 1%er coin.
That's what I think.
It's a coin. It represents a lifestyle that I was part of, and I didn't create it, but it was there, and I helped carry it on. Man.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing about coins.
Just like
too.
you guys, you guys are SEALs. We didn't start the SEALs.
Exactly.
No. You're part of it, man, and it's still going.
And we give away coins all the time that has a SEAL trident on it. By no means, by giving you one, does it make you a SEAL.
Exactly.
Just like giving you a Liberty Risk coin doesn't make you necessarily a Liberty Risk. But you probably are.
You probably are if you're here.
If you're here.
As Ryan destroys the set.
I was trying.
What are you doing over there?
I was trying to get this Team 5 coin because the funny thing about what you just said is that.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I took my fucking headset off here. But the funny thing about, it all comes down to like
60
heritage.
gunner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bull in the fucking China shop here. So this is the original.
You're a Liberty Risk.
I've had the trademark on Liberty Risk for like 14 years. Yeah, or not. But so this is the original like SEAL Team 5 coin that I don't.
Jesus,
bro, I gotta keep things out of my hands.
You're
it's like Butterfingers, bro.
That would have been great if this whole thing would just spiderwebbed.
Yeah,
it would have been.
This thing's been through a lot. But this is the SEAL Team 5 coin that looks like a. It looks like a gold doubloon.
Butt plug.
Pieces of 8.
I mean, you'd have to be really aggressive to like actually get this up your butt. You know?
Oh.
But maybe. But this is what we modeled. This.
Yeah, our Liberty Risk coins.
We just got these in yesterday. Not trying to plug our merch or anything, but trying to plug
our merch. Yeah.
Plug the shit out of it.
This is what this is about. We took this same idea of the SEAL Team 5 doubloon, and we made this coin that says "Don't fuck with us."
Don't tell on us.
Yeah, no, this one's that's a different one. This one says "Don't fuck with us," and it's a little snake. Because there's a great flag by the SEAL teams that says, the original flag from the Navy in 13 colonies was a snake. So don't step on us.
Right.
And then the SEAL, don't tread on me. Yeah, that's crack, dude.
Yeah, sorry.
Nice crack.
Pull up. Well, then we made this. Oh wait.
Yeah, don't fuck with us.
Don't fuck with us.
So that snake flag then became a frog flag.
People are like, Jesus Christ, Kevin, you fat fuck.
But it was it was a SEAL team. It was a very private kind of flag where it was just the frog bones, which is kind of a unofficial insignia of the SEAL teams, and it said "Don't fuck with us" as a play to that. So we took that, and we're just like, we don't own it, obviously. We're borrowing it from the SEAL teams, just a little little hint at that. But I just thought this fucking thing was so dope, where it's a skull with a snake coming through the eyeball and says, "Don't fuck with us." I'm like, that's cool. And we made it look like a little gold doubloon.
We need like a rat. It's like, don't tell on us.
Yeah, maybe that's the next one.
Like,
yeah.
you motherfucker.
Well,
but coins are fun, man.
Well, it's interesting. I listened to you on a podcast, and you're talking about the death head when someone wanted to make it an open mouth, and they're like, "Fuck no."
Right.
That's fucking snitches.
It turned into a big. It turned into a big thing. I'll tell you.
Really?
Irish came back from prison, and the guys that went to prison, they would come back, and I got to be honest with you, man. Some of them I didn't understand where they were coming from. I go spend a year in fucking prison. I knew where they were coming from when I got back.
Yeah.
And relating to
I mean,
them.
it's got to change you a little bit. I mean, not to say that you're.
My first time in there, I spent a year. Golden age of the federal prison, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fucking. We had our own phone, and I had.
It's like Goodfellas, right? You guys are in there making your own.
I'm going to tell you, I had Rosario Gambino used to cook spaghetti sauce every fucking Saturday.
Holy shit.
That's no bullshit. For me and Michael Franchise and the other guys, we had a couple old Jewish gangsters that hung out with us. I don't remember their names, but that was like just unbelievable, man. We would have raffles, and we would rig the raffles.
Was this in the 80s?
84, 85.
Wow.
I rig the
That is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and so then in 2001, I get indicted. We're getting off track a little bit, but
No, it's good.
2001, I get
a
indicted.
whole show.
59 fucking counts, state racketeering. The feds were involved in it, and that Bradbury was the district attorney up there. Him and I had a personal pissing match going. You go to his office, he had two pictures in his office. He had Charlie Manson and George Christie. That was the fucking pictures behind his desk. And
was it mug shots?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. He, that picture of Charlie Manson with the crazy eyes?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, which
That
one?
was taken in Ventura. The first one that he was arrested by Bradbury. That was the first time Bradbury had gotten his mitts in him. So he wanted to get him, put him out of business, and he wanted to get me. And so he charged me with 59 counts of state racketeering. The feds dropped out. They go, this guy's fucking crazy. Spent a year in solitary confinement. And then the last haul, I went to Texas. I was sent me to Texas, and the prison system had just fucking completely changed. Now it's 20, I think I left in 2013, 2014. We've got a 2-man cell with 6 guys in it.
Damn.
No fucking food. The fucking rations, man. You couldn't get no extras.
Not cutting garlic with fucking razor blades and shit.
Not in that trip. So I did my year there, and then I went home. And
How long was that stint?
that was a year. So I did a year each time, and then I did 2 years on, probably 2.5 years on house arrest. They got about 5 years out of me my whole tenure. And
It's not bad.
no,
It's pretty good too.
Yeah, that's what Judge Wu said. Imagine
like
all the shit you got away with, George.
10 deployments.
Yeah, there you go.
right?
There you go, man.
Yeah.
So we promised our viewers that we would get back on
Okay.
the break from that, because we've talked a lot about serious stuff, and you've lived a very serious life.
Yeah.
But you've also led a very interesting and unique perspective. And what's it called when you have something that's an involvement that most people don't see? You have a perspective that most people
Unique.
don't ever get to get. Right?
Unique perspective.
Esoteric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good word.
you have a very unique insight on things, and so a lot of people are enamored with the biker lifestyle. I love it. If I wasn't going to join the SEAL teams, my next thing was I was going to join a biker gang. Like that was.
Well, you know, I heard that there's some SEALs in biker gangs.
I've heard this too.
You know the deal.
If you've been in one of the top tier organizations for decades, and you've seen and heard so many things. What are some of the craziest stories that you've heard or seen over the years?
Earlier you guys were mentioning, I don't know who he was. He was breaking people's fingers.
Oh, Drago, yeah.
Yeah, and went to a bar one night on Ventura Boulevard called, I think it was the Rumble Inn, and that's where the slaves went. That was their bar, and every time they drank a beer, they'd throw the bottle on the roof, and I was thinking, someday the roof's going to cave in. It's going to be one bottle too many. But that bar owner was having problems with another group of bike club guys.
Yeah.
Coming there. And so the guy said to us, he goes, if you guys hang around here tonight. Now, I was a Hell's Angel now, I think. Yeah. Because I'd gone there the whole time for like 10 years with the slaves. But he said, if you guys hang out here tonight, and when these guys show up, if you run them off, I'll give you free beer the rest of the night. So everybody's like that. So
shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.
So I pull in there, and Nathan from the slaves is breaking this guy's fingers one at a time, because the guy, he's telling Nathan, I'm a Satan slave. Nathan goes, you're not a Satan slave, motherfucker. I'm a Satan slave, and you're not a Satan slave. And he said, are you a Satan slave? The guy go, yes. He'd break a finger. So he went through the one hand, and then he went to the other hand. And he goes, he sees me standing there, and he goes, are you a Hell's Angel? And he goes, yes. Bam. Snaps him, and right about, he's getting to the end, and he goes, hey, I'm running out of fingers, George. He said, do you want one? I said, I'm going to pass, Nathan. But so later that night, so we're there now. I'm there with Tall Paul, and he's a maniac. And they know free beer's coming if these guys show up and we run them off. So, I mean, there was no doubt in my mind we were going to run these guys off, man. They were no match for our two clubs. So Tall Paul takes a dog choker chain, and he puts it around his wrist, and he's playing with it and whatnot. So the guys show up, they walk in, the shit kicks off, and Von Dutch is there. Well, Von Dutch, he kind of looks like a homeless guy, and the famous pinstriper. And Paul sees him, so Paul whacks him, cuts his face open from here to here, just his whole cheek. So we go, Dutch, we got to take you to the hospital, man. You got to get sewed up. And he goes, no way I'm missing that fucking free beer. Bill Reed sewed him up on the bar. We put him on the bar. We got a needle and thread, and Bill Reed sewed his fucking face up, man. Right there in the fucking... no
lidocaine.
Nothing, man. Well, maybe some cocaine.
Free beer.
Some kind of cane.
Yeah.
So we used to have this corpsman in my platoon, Andy Coviello, and
oh yeah,
when
He's
we
awesome.
were, this was pre 9/11, but when we were going, we deployed to Guam, and we'd always on the weekends, the base in Guam, it's probably 20 minutes south of like the main hub in Guam of Tumon Bay, and like where all the like decent bars and stuff are. And a lot of times, like the platoons, they didn't have cars and shit. So, like we'd usually get one vehicle ride into town, and then you either try and figure out how to get back, Sunday night or whatever.
Figure it out.
Yeah, but so we'd gone through this gamut so many times where dudes would get in fights, and so finally our corpsman, this guy Andy, he puts together this little like a small Pelican case, and
Andy's also like 6'3", 250.
Yeah,
like
he's like 300 pounds,
dude.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
dude, he was like
I
second.
used to rent him my house.
Yeah, did he? Yeah.
God
So
damn.
he's a massive dude.
He was married to
and
Monica at the
funny
time.
as fuck.
Fucking
dude.
horrible.
Yeah, he during his first platoon as a new guy,
Was he in your platoon?
He was in my platoon.
His first platoon.
His first platoon.
No shit.
When he was still married to Monica, he got a DV, domestic violence, and he took 30 days of leave and went and served his time down at the Ray Donovan detention facility. To this day, I don't know how he got out of the whole Lautenberg agreement thing, because he was convicted. And they're like, you can't own a gun, you can't serve in the military, and it just got brushed under the. They're like, oh,
fucking good.
He's already in.
Yeah, good.
And so then we deploy. The guy's he's the definition of fucking liberty risk. Like, this guy is just. But he made this Pelican case, and he riggers tape across the top. It said "Tavern Warfare" on it.
That's the next coin, dude.
You would flip it open, and all it had in there was IV bags, sutures, some Imodium in case you got the shits while we were out in town, and a bunch of Motrin,
some condoms.
But no condom. Well, maybe, but it was so funny. On one occasion, literally sewing up a guy's arm after he put his arm through a window, and just dumbass shit.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Real dumbass shit.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
We were in Cody, Wyoming, and before we left town, we got a big bottle of liquid LSD.
Awesome.
It was a mason jar full of LSD, and we had it up on the table with the top off, and it fell over, and we pulled it up as fast as we could, and then David ran into the bathroom and got toilet paper. And started fucking daubing it all up, getting it off the table. So,
God forbid you wipe your ass with that.
that's where this is going.
Got it.
So, on the way back, we're coming back from Cody. We run out of drugs, and we start tearing off pieces of the toilet paper. And I'm going, God damn, man, this stuff's good, And we were coming through Denver. David Ortega's telling me, look, we can see the curvature of the earth.
The earth is breathing.
You know how you go up in Denver?
Yeah.
And I go, is that what that is? Anyways,
To all you flat earthers out there.
Yeah. Fuck you. So we got our bikes hooked together. I got my arm hooked in his, and we're just riding, talking. And we're out in the middle of nowhere.
You guys are riding your bikes together on highway speeds.
Yeah.
No shit.
And,
on acid. That's fucking
on acid.
nuts.
And then, so we break off, and we make our way. We get back to town, and I come up with this thought. I go, man, we got to have the party, and in the bathroom, we're going to put the toilet roll papers on the ringer. We're going to have one on the ringer, and then we're going to have one up on the counter above the toilet. And that was the wildest fucking party we ever had, man. It was just incredible. Anybody that fucking wiped anything, their nose, their ass,
foreskin,
anything, man, they were gone. That was one of our better parties.
That was in Denver, or that's when you got
that's
back
when we got
to
back
Ventura?
To Ventura. We thought we'll throw a party since we're home now, and we'll put the LSD that's on the toilet paper out there. And it was.
So here's
a liberty risk.
Here's a weird question for you, because I'm sure you've seen your fair share of, like, I know when team guys get their Trident tacked on, or used to be when you were at the team, there was always big parties and crazy shit, and I'm sure, like, when guys get patched in, it's a fucking blowout.
Yeah.
Like, what's some of the crazier stuff? Like, I remember reading from something where, I don't even remember what it was from, but it was a club or somewhere. They basically took the dude's, before they gave it to him, like, they were like soaking his jacket in, like, motor oil and just
possible.
I mean,
shit like that
dudes
was
were
possible.
like, I don't know, what all went on that thing, but
there's a lot of shit like
drug
that
down the road
happens. I was real. That was like back in the old days. I wouldn't let anybody disrespect my patch or me. We used to have a thing at the Bass Lake.
Oh, right.
We dig a hole and we dump all the shit from the outhouses in the hole, and then the prospects from the north and the south would have a tug of war.
Oh, shit.
Ooh,
Literally.
That's some good motivation, dude.
And we always, we had 3 charters down there. These guys up here had 13, 14, charters. So it wasn't weighed out very well. So they used to call boots and patches. And that meant you had to strip down to your boots and your patch, nothing else. Then you had to get in the tug of war. And so I got all the prospects to pool together. And they called boots and patches. And I told the members, I said, well, we're not going to do it unless you do it. We'll go against the prospects against the members. Get down to boots and patches, and, we'll do it too. And they
Fair, yeah.
They called it off that.
Fuckers,
man.
Fuckers.
Yeah, they called it off. But, so many good times, so many funny things,
When you lost a guy on a run, remember, in Napa, was it?
Oh, yeah. David Ortega and Don were riding next to each other. And we had a little thing we were doing for a while is we'd put rabbit ears on people. Like take a picture and you'd throw rabbit ears on them. Or you'd come up and talk to them and there'd be a bunch of people. You'd put a rabbit ears on them. Everybody would laugh at him and he's like, what the fuck's so funny? So David Ortega looked down and saw his shadow right next to Don Deinhardt from the sun. And David was trying to give him a rabbit ears on the shadow, and then he was going to point it at him. And he pointed it at him, and Don took his eyes off the bike. David took his eyes off the road. They locked handlebars, and they flew off the cliff, and they landed in a grapevine. We were going by these grapevines up near Fresno.
Holy shit.
And he landed in the grapevine. So both bikes were suspended in the grapevine.
No.
Yeah. And David was I had heard about it. He didn't know I heard about it. And he came to me. He was excited, but he was upset. And he wanted to tell me what happened. And he goes, "Did you hear what happened?" And I said, "Yeah, I heard it through the grapevine."
So
we had a lot of fun, a lot of parties, a lot of fights, friendly fights, serious fights. The friendly fights were kind of cool,
Yeah. It's like beating up, 2 team guys at Danny's getting in a fight.
Yeah, I fought some of my best friends over the years. You know? It's like
David Ortega and I fought several times.
Yeah.
They never allowed fights with the rings.
You have to take the rings off.
Fair. Yeah.
Now, but they made them take all the rings off and fight outside.
Well, you could leave the rings on, but it was $100.
$100. $100. I'll fucking pay the $100.
I hear you, man. Especially with some of those big motherfuckers. I was coming down the coast one time, and this is the last one I'll tell. I think it's funny. Other people may not think it's so funny. We had a guy in the club called Pirate. He was from the East Coast, real crazy guy. One of these guys that would stay up for like a week. And we were coming down the coast. Now, anybody that's been on the West Coast, when you get up towards Santa Barbara and all that area, there's oil rigs out there. And they're all lit up, man. And he thought that they were UFOs following us from He goes, "George, those UFOs are following us." And I go, "What makes you think they're UFOs, man?" He goes, "Look at them, they're in formation, man." And it took me about an hour to talk him out of
You're like, shit, you're right.
Yeah, he had me convinced.
We do have one question from our Patreon. Because our Patreon, I told the guys you were coming on.
Okay.
And I asked them, like, "Hey, do you have any questions for George?" And one of the guys, because not a lot of people know this, but you actually carried the Olympic torch in the 1984 Olympics, which is super fucking cool.
That is pretty cool.
But he's asking, he's like, he said, not
Did
sure
you burn
it's covered
yourself?
not sure if it's covered in any podcast, but he wants to know how you're able to do that, and if there's any like stories attached to that. Because I would imagine like going to Olympic Village in that would be pretty wild.
A lot of stories attached to that carrying the torch, and I'll tell you, it started out. with the ATF going to the Ventura merchants and telling them, hey, we are from the ATF, we are a special squad, and we've been sent here to do security on all the water events at Lake Casitas, which was 10 minutes from the Hells Angel clubhouse. So they said, look, we've got word that the Hells Angels will be supplying weapons to the terrorists at the lake events. So any information you can give to us, we'd appreciate. It was just a campaign of misinformation.
Yeah.
They knew that, but it makes us look bad. What they didn't know was we ran Ventura like with a fucking iron fist, man. And the merchants immediately called us and said, hey, George, the feds are down here, and this is what they're saying. And so it took me a while to talk the club into it. I said, look, man, this is serious. We got to get out in front of this thing. And I said, terrorism is a thing of the future, man. I go, it's going to be fucking, you don't want to get tied in with these. It's un-American, it's non-patriotic, and it's like, it's on the verge of being a traitor. I said, I'm not, we need to stop it. So I came up with this idea that we could carry the torch in the torch relay, because for $3,000 you could participate. So I said, look, not only are we going to support the Olympics, now we're going to participate in the Olympics. And it took me a while to talk the club members into it. But myself and a gentleman named Tiny from San Fernando Valley, we talked everybody into it. It turned into I got the LA Times behind me, and they did this huge story. It was everywhere. It was all over the world, man. It was
great
huge.
Pictures from that, yeah.
Yeah, and so what happens is we'll wind up in a pissing match with the feds, the media. I'm giving little sound bites. They're giving little sound bites, and we're talking shit about each other. And I get the gang task force guy comes to me and says, hey, look, man, the feds said they've had enough. You need to shut the fuck up. And I said, well, tell them don't fucking come to Ventura if they can't play hardball. And just fucking dug in, continued. So initially we were supposed to run in town, and it got so big and get so big and so big, they moved us to Las Posas Road out in the middle of nowhere in a bean field. It was lima bean fields.
How long were you going to run with, like,
just a
mile?
kilometer? Yeah, a kilometer.
Were you going to wear your cut and everything?
Yeah, well, no, they wouldn't let me wear my cut, but I had my tattoo showing.
Right.
Shit. So we complete that. It just goes crazy in the media. And of course, me and my big fucking mouth. At the end of the thing, they said, do you have anything to say now that you've made history and the Hells Angels have participated in the Olympics? I said, yeah, I do have something to say. I said, it was really a shame that L.A. sheriff had to make that fake bomb and then find it. He had actually made a bomb and then retrieved it to be a hero.
Wow.
And this story unraveled. And,
wow.
So,
no shit.
So that's what I said.
That's wild
and they
stuff.
were pissed. And, well, I'm going to tell them what happened. I got my wife on the sidelines over there, man. She's my biggest
Keep you
supporter.
honest.
She does keep me honest.
Good job, Beverly.
So probably 4 or 5 weeks, the media attention's winding down a little bit. And Sunday night, after a long weekend, my phone rings, like late at night, 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever. It's one of the guys, fuck, George, you got to get down here. Somebody just threw a hand grenade in the clubhouse. And I go, no shit. And I go, is anybody hurt? And they go, yeah, Dave's fucked up, man. And I go, I'll be right there. I jumped on my bike and I went down there. And as soon as I get there, I start arguing with the cops. They say Dave is building a bomb and it exploded in the clubhouse. And I'm saying, hey, if we were building a bomb, it wouldn't be here and Dave wouldn't be doing it. So come on, man, get off that shit.
Dave's not our bomb guy. Jimmy is. I mean, shit, exactly.
And they were just like dumbfounded. So the feds come in there. They show up out of nowhere. Where the fuck the Fed's doing out at fucking Sunday night or Monday morning now at 2:00 in the morning. What the fuck are they doing at the Ventura clubhouse? So they're working on Dave. The explosion, they threw the grenade in. It went across the floor, and I'm going to get into what happened. It goes across the floor and stops under a steel chair. The steel chair redirects the explosion, and it goes across the floor. Dave gets shrapnel all in his lower body, his leg. He's standing there. Dave's looking at it, and he's going, why would anybody throw a trailer hitch into the clubhouse? Fuck. Yeah. And I told David, I said, lucky it didn't have chrome on it. It would have been in your back pocket. I couldn't let him up. But so now they won't let me in the building. I'm talking to Dave. I told Dave, hold on, man. They're telling Dave, you're going to die. Who did this? And, you can imagine what they're saying. Mm-hmm. So I look in the doorway, and there's the spoon. And I tell one of my Ventura cop friends, I go, give me the numbers off that spoon. He writes down the numbers, gives them to me. I hire an ex-FBI agent who's now a private investigator. He works for one of my lawyers. And I go, trace this, man, and see what you
look up the
find
national stock number on there.
Came from...
SEAL Team 5.
Exactly. It came from the Akron, Ohio Armory where the ATF squad was stationed.
No shit.
Wow.
And that's a fact. Yeah. They know it, and I know it. Do I think it was an order? No. I think it was a couple of rogue guys said, hey, fuck these guys. Yep. He's got a big fucking mouth. Fuck him, And we sued the government, and we were doing pretty good. Huh?
You were able to tell when you...
You're not in a courtroom. You don't have to point at me.
$1,000 you can donate it, and something to do with the Olympics. And George knew a guy who had at that time they were called retarded son. So he was going to have...
It's not correct anymore.
Oh, no.
So all the kids there would get an Olympic jacket in the whole club. And
they wouldn't give him. President Kennedy's sister wouldn't give him the goddamn donation I made. So Sergeant Shriver, President Kennedy's husband, calls me on the phone and said, "This is Sergeant Shriver,
Maria Shriver's father, right?
Yeah.
Husband, Sergeant Shriver. He's head of the Peace Corps. He was the first. President Kennedy invented the Peace Corps and made him, head of the Peace Corps. So he's, telling me this, and it was a great thing you did, but we need to keep the publicity positive. And George, there's someone here that would like to talk to you. So President Kennedy's sister gets on the phone, and she goes, "Hello, George. This is Eunice. Do you know who I am?" And I go, "Yes, I know who you are. I have great admiration for the Kennedys." And she goes, it'd really be a shame to get all this bad publicity with you guys arguing with us about where the money goes. And I said, yeah, it would be if we didn't have the right to tell you where to send the money. And she goes, look, George, you're getting involved in something you don't know anything about. And I said, look, you're going to give the kids the money or I'm going to sue you. And she goes, do you really want to make trips to Washington, D.C.? And I said, no, I won't be making any trips to Washington, D.C. I said, the contract was signed in Ventura. I go, you'll be coming to Ventura.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
And then she's starting to get mad, and she goes, you don't know who you're messing with, do you? And I said, you don't know who you're messing with. And I said, see you in court. Nice. And she wound up, they had to pay the money to where I designated it. It took like 4 years. I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement that I would never disclose where the money went or who won the case. It was settled in with a non-disclosure.
Wow.
That's how big an ego she had.
Fucking Kennedys.
Yeah.
Dude,
Arnold,
politics.
what is that? Technically, I guess that's Arnold Schwarzenegger's like mother-in-law or some shit.
Yes. Ex-mother-in-law.
Are they divorced?
Yeah, they fucking couldn't do it.
Oh, God, yeah. Don't you remember the name?
Democrat,
Oh,
Republican.
I didn't know if they actually divorced because they're, I'm
Catholic.
sure
Yeah.
she's Catholic, and that's a sin.
That's a sacrilege.
Everything's a sin.
Yeah.
Whatever. Holy shit,
Fuck.
man. All right, well,
Is this a good place to quit?
yeah, George, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
taking the
guys.
time to come on. I know we've kept you over your normal time.
Well, I
for
missed my
podcasting.
nap.
Oh, shit.
There's still time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude, thank you so much for coming on and sharing these stories.
I
and legacy
appreciate
and
it.
everything.
It was great meeting you guys. I got a lot of admiration. You guys are like the Hell's Angels of the military, man. And
There's a lot of similarities for sure.
I haven't known a lot of SEALs, but everyone I've met, I think they've made a hell of a Hell's Angel. I really
agree.
do, man.
I
Yeah.
agree. Thank you so much,
Thank
George.
you guys,
Hey,
man.
yeah.
I really appreciate
It's
it.
fantastic. Great. And we got to make sure we get him some Liberty Wrist merch too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I am a
Some,
Liberty Wrist.
get some great Liberty
I'll
Wrist
tell you
shirts.
who's a Liberty Risk is Beverly. Can't take her anywhere.
You got to get her some Liberty Wrist merch too.
Fucking pointing her finger at me, interrupting me.
Absolutely.
Do we
And
wanna
Billy,
plug
thank you so much
anything?
for coming
Hey,
on.
man, it was my pleasure.
Do we want to? I know we got our beef crisps here. We didn't eat any
Are
this
these
time.
for-
but these
for
are fantastic.
humans or dogs?
No, both.
they're good.
But they're
My dog keeps
fantastic. Actually,
begging
you
for
should
'em.
take a bag of these. If you've ever had beef jerky, they're like
It's not even beef jerky. It's like
no, it's like
potato
a
chips,
chip, but it's made out of meat. They're fucking fantastic. Like I love them, and I have a pug.
How many calories in a chip?
Oh,
no,
fuck, I
I'm
don't
fucking
know.
around.
120 per bag or per serving.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are fantastic.
Yeah, but the caviat is
There's
Two with each
1,700
serving.
servings. 1,700 servings per. No, they're really good, and I mean,
well, I
We
had
kinda-
my eye on them earlier. I didn't know what they were.
We kind of fell into this. I don't even know if it's a sponsorship. I think they give us free snacks, and we, if you order them, you get a 10% discount. I believe.
Yeah, just use Liberty Risk on there and show 'em. But yeah, we'll send you guys home with the bag. They're phenomenal. We normally chew them on the breaks because they're fucking.
They're so fucking good, and you should take a bag home.
I will, man.
They're fucking
Might need a couple.
fantastic.
I
But
will.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
All right.
absolutely.